Good evening, people. It is 8:35 where I'm at. Shadows in avocado time, so it's what
6:35.
7? What time?
6:35.
6:04. Okay.
6:35. Yeah, it's only an hour. There's no minutes difference in time zones.
And if you're in Apple time, well, that's a whole different time. Um,
So how you been, man?
Tired, just tired. You
A lot
know,
of that going around.
can't wait for fall. I'm an autumn guy. I really am. You get to drink hot coffee, or in my case, hot tea. Sit
Uh-huh.
outside and not, sweat your ass off.
The sweating's good for you, man.
They say that. Well, I'm on this medicine where I can't be in temperature that's hotter than like 87 degrees.
Really,
So,
I've heard of not being in the sunlight, but never temperatures. That's
yeah, it sucks.
maybe a new kind of antipsychotic.
It's something.
Hey, what's up, Ungar? Nerds.
God, when I was younger, I couldn't get enough sun. All day, every day.
Yeah,
Walk up and down where I was living. If I was on vacation at a
and
beach.
you hit 35, and you're a fat bastard, and you can't do shit anymore.
Uh, See, with winter gives you opportunities. And here's some of the opportunities. You can sit in your office, your man cave, your garage, wherever you can sit,
Mhm.
and paint miniatures. And that's what you have to do on yard work. You could go visit people and have an excuse to bring coffee or hot tea or whatever you drink because it's fucking cold in their basement because, that's where, a lot of us end up gaming
Nerds
is.
right now.
Yeah. I've
I've
heard story.
I've honestly never been in a basement.
I actually, I
I've
lived.
traveled all over the world, never ever been in a basement.
Never gamed in the basement.
You know,
Well, if you come to Illinois, we'll have to. I'll set up a table down in my basement, and we'll get
as long as
Jade.
you'll bring out the camp, it's good.
I was about saying I'll bring over. I'll get Jade to come over, and then you said Gimp. I'm like, yeah, yeah, no.
How the hell is Jade? I haven't seen him in going on like almost 2 years, I believe.
Jade's doing what he can. He's got a beautiful wife that he needs to help support. Do all those husband-y things.
Mhm.
He's got a job that I think he likes every other couple years. Uh,
That's fucked up, man.
but he's a hermit by nature, but he's one of my better friends, definitely. Um I was gonna have a little get together tomorrow. Uh Wednesday's my birthday.
Well, happy birthday!
Well, thank you.
Today
And
is Victor's birthday.
yeah, I already wished him a happy birthday earlier.
You know,
Um I was going to, have a few people come over, smoke cigars if they smoke, make dinner. I was thinking what prime rib, red
you're a
potatoes.
bastard. I
What?
haven't had. I said you're a bastard. I have not had prime rib in over 15 years.
Well, come and visit and we can fix that problem.
Yeah.
Or I'll come and visit and I'll
So
fix that problem. But you
good
have to
luck
let me in your
finding it
house.
out here, man. Uh, we have one butcher shop in a within a couple of hours of where we are, and I've yet to go inside it in the 15 years that I've been here.
Butcher shops make me happy. I don't know why.
Me too. Me too. I used to have one growing up right across the street. I mean, I could jaywalk and be there in 2 minutes, and now they're a thing of the past. We do have these grocery shops that have them kind of inside, or they're a better deli. One of them is actually might as well call it a butcher shop, but they just never get prime rib, or if they do, they call it something else, and I can't read it because it's in Spanish. And
Hablo el español, el gringo, el mito. Okay? No,
yeah,
that sucks. Well, you can always ask them to order it. I mean, you'll probably see if these grocery stores, like, I don't know if you have Kroger's where you live.
no,
Kroger's is one locally to me. and they'll get prime rib, more of the more expensive cuts around the holidays.
I'm gonna have
Like
to look at like our Costco. Maybe they get it.
Costco, Costco where I live has does prime rib,
Okay.
so it's not
I've only been
overrun.
to our Costco once or twice. So we just got membership. So I really don't know, but it's just
Keep in mind, prime rib is not, the cut's just not cheap. There's a reason
oh yeah,
why.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's my birthday. I like to do prime rib normally around Christmas, but this year for my birthday, I'm like, fuck it, I want prime rib. It's my birthday, and well, you can go out to eat. I'm like, yeah, but then I won't have all the extra beautiful little bits at home I can eat. But you're doing a painting miniature challenge with a buddy of yours. We're talking about that.
Yeah, Mini Warmut is doing a September challenge. Paint as many minis as you can in September. I'm looking at between 30 and 60 minis I'm going to paint. I just pulled this one out. It's literally an antique from 1980, an original lead heritage miniature of Conan the Barbarian. Uh, it's a 52 millimeter scale. The Heritage was the first company to get the official rights to Conan. They even had I believe it was the Conan movie poster logo, if you will, on the blister packs. You get like 4 minis in a pack for like 350, some crap like that. And I pulled mine out for this September challenge because it's also Sumerian September, which is when we all break out our Conan books and talk Conan and read Conan and blah blah blah. And I'm doing both at the same time. So I figure I might as well finally paint these Conan minis
That
that have
sounds
been
fun.
sitting in my collection. I also have some original Star Trek minis, the first line of Star Trek minis from the same company back in the 80s. But I have like a complete set of the blister packs in lead, uh, 25 millimeter scale. So they're kind of dinky, but I don't want to open the blister packs for those because they're worth, the whole set is easily a couple of grand. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to sell them because I have a friend who has the original molds,
Yeah.
and so on the side he casts them and sells them, and I for 150 bucks or something I could have the whole set in a pewter, which won't rot. Lead will rot. I can pawn them off my very expensive set to some sucker who wants to pay top dollar and then be done with it and not have to worry about them rotting.
There is a battle. Uh, it's a Star Wars game or Star Trek, not Star Wars, Star Trek Commanders or something like that.
Mhm.
And instead of using individual people, you get a great big map that's hex grid, and you have and you use you have Klingons, the Federation, and half the rest of the races, and you do battle simulation, battle
Yeah,
fights.
Starfleet Battles.
Yeah, and it just
Dude, I
came
was
out. I
playing
mean,
that before you were born.
I haven't played in like the last maybe year
I
and a half.
haven't played since before you were born.
It's a fun game.
It's a tough game. Um, it's all about energy management, resources, and maneuvering, and that sort of thing. It's a tough game, and I used to play it, you know, uh, fairly often, but it got to a point where I could not find the miniatures and the Federation ships. Those nacelles were so flimsy. You look at them and they would break off. And
The one that my friend has, his collection, they're not
are they plastic or are they metal?
they're plastic. No, some of them he's got a mixture of both.
Okay, yeah, because I could never find the metal ones, and now with 3D printing, you can just print out a crap ton for not even pennies on the dollar. Uh,
Right.
you know,
Oh,
and
I yeah, no. I
but
like
I just picked up the season one of the original series. Was trying to get Jackie to watch it with me, and he's just too damn busy right now. We watched like part one of the pilot a couple years ago, and I'm like, okay, because now you can't find it except behind a paywall, or at least I can't. So I went and bought the first season. I got it for $15 on DVD. Came with this communicator
Oh, nice.
and a tricorder, battery operated, 15 bucks. The CD set is, or the DVD set is like damn near brand new. All the books are still shrink wrapped, but the original box and case weren't. $15 plus shipping. I paid less than $22 for everything, and he threw in a communicator and a tricorder. Now I just got to find someone who will print me up a phaser, or if I could get lucky enough to find one that lights up, I would jump on it so I could put it back here, because
Was not a big Trek fan growing up. Just wasn't my bag.
that's all there was when I was a kid.
No, I get that. With me, it was Next Generation. That was part of.
That was part of my growing up as well. I was
right.
in my late teens, 20s, I think, when it came out, but it was.
I had a phaser.
It had issues.
Their version of the phaser. I didn't have the space gun so much as they did in. I had the this looks like a remote control. That's just with a little bit of a bent to it.
Oh yeah. It was the shop vac was like the movies, or was it Deep Space Nine or Voyager that had the ones that look like the miniature version of the
No, that's the one I'm talking about. The dust doubles. Yeah. Yeah, no, I Trek, I think, I mean, when it comes to Trek, it's interesting. Yeah. Thanks, Crafty. With the Trek Next Generation is just like, okay, I don't want to watch the entire season. I don't want to watch every last episode. All right, who am I going to care about this time around? Data drives me up the damn wall. Let's do Worf. So I watch all the Worf episodes or all the Picard episodes. Data every so often when I'm bored enough. But it's one of those shows. It's not exactly Deep Space Nine was Deep Space Four. A lot of people call it Deep Space Four. But the one thing that Deep Space Nine did better than, in my opinion, than all the other Treks, it allowed its characters to grow.
I never watched it
because they're at,
I was watching Babylon 5.
Well,
same concept, different.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather watch Firefly, but I didn't get 15 seasons of that in like 4 different fucking spin-offs. I got 10 episodes, a movie, an RPG, and a pat in the ass.
There's only 2 Treks I really, really, really dig, and that's the original and Enterprise. Enterprise was kind of badass because they were always getting their ass kicked, and it seemed like there were real stakes. Next Generation, you knew. I literally stopped watching during the Borg episodes when they rammed that freaking thing through Geordi's brain, and I'm like, oh, he'll be fine. You know what I mean? Same thing with Picard. No consequences. It's all got to be neatly tied up in a bow. Well, sure, the original show was like that too. But
yeah,
it was the first of its kind, and they had to do that. But Enterprise, there would be episodes, and the Enterprise is limping off after the show, and smoke's trailing out of it. It was like not quite a cliffhanger, but you knew there were consequences. And
with Picard and the Borg, there was definitely post-traumatic stress disorder throughout the rest of the show.
I know, but I couldn't stand Picard to begin with.
I
didn't care. The only character I really liked was Riker. I mean, I kind of like Data because he was annoying, but
his
he wasn't.
Quest for humanity was interesting.
What?
His quest for humanity.
Right, and the episode, was it the Measure of a Man or something like that, where he went on trial for his right to be
yeah, that's like I think that's like 2nd or 3rd season. It's like early on.
That was one of my favorites. Anything that had to do with Mirror Mirror the Mirror Universe, freaking sign me up for that shit. Uh,
I thought
if
they.
I went to a convention like a Trek convention, I would absolutely, find a Mirror Universe uniform. Because that was just I was watching this video, not last night but the night before on Trek, and it got me to thinking, because like all of the technology in Next Generation, and even for that matter, the first season, uh, where'd you go? Was so crazy that they didn't just say "F it." We're gonna just do immortality and screw everything. You know what I mean? Nobody's dying. Everybody lives forever. We've got
Well, they
replicators.
killed.
You
They
know what I
did.
mean? They had
And
all the technology to never die
well, they did kill off certain characters in Next
with
Gen.
no good reason.
Well, I think it was more of a. It was behind the scenes pay issue.
Oh, I know. Denise Crosby and her me. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
I mean, Whoopi Goldberg.
Same thing.
No,
Boot to the head.
what I love about Whoopi Goldberg, just for this.
No, she was actually she was kind of cool for a while, and then I don't know what happened, but she lost her shit.
It's Hollywood. Eventually, everybody loses your shit.
Yeah.
But no, she wrote the creator, Gene Roddenberry. It's like, I'd love to be in your show. Uhura was my favorite character. You made it okay to be black and be a black person on a spaceship. ... Which during that time period, I get it. You have to. The movement was still going on back then, and it was a good thing. And there was a lot, Kurt kissing O'Hara was a big step in TV maturity. Is that a good way to put it?
I don't know about maturity, but more just trying to you know show us that we could be uh, a lot better life forms.
Right, right. That's fair. That's fair. Maturity of the human spirit. So I like Star Trek. I like the concept of Star Trek, although Star Trek is commie as hell.
To me, it's just there would be no place for guys like me in that universe.
What if that's yeah? I more or less said the same thing. Me and Jade was talking about that years ago. I'm like, if you want,
my
if you,
kind of belief system, not to mention, I'm not a big uniform guy, and I'm not a big, polyester guy as well.
oh come on, you're
I
not
was trying
telling
to,
me
I was
you're
trying to
not
have
going to
this
be that guy
conversation.
walking in a Galaxy Cruiser wearing a mini skirt and uniform like we got in Next Generation.
I was trying to have this conversation with Bear, because it wasn't like what's better, but what would you, what did you prefer? The clothing of the Federation, Star Trek universe, or the clothing of Star Wars? And for me, hands down, Star Wars. It was all, you know, organic materials, and individuality was paramount, was king. And, you didn't have, obviously there were uniforms, but that was like
Okay,
um,
wait, hold on. So my two choices for uniforms and outfits are either Star Trek or Star Wars. I can't say
yeah,
fuck you. I choose Firefly, but Star Trek or Star Wars. Those are my
right,
options.
yeah,
Star Trek with the Klingon outfits look fun.
yeah,
That's
but
a
you know
lot
what?
of fur, some leather,
Uh-huh, sure. However, um, that means everything's dry cleaned,
Hey, Betazoid, I'm just nude all the fucking time. Don't have to worry about clothing.
right? And it would be hot and sweaty no matter where you were.
Yeah, but the Klingons were such an interesting race. I mean,
I like the original ones. I hated what they did with them in Next Generation. They just turned them into Mongols.
okay. I didn't really get into original Trek. So going back and watching episodes where they were basically Puerto Ricans in spandex, not spandex, but polyester,
Mhm.
to Worf, who
To
doesn't.
pleather and fake metal, right?
Right. They're two different. If almost they were very much two different creatures at that juncture. If you put one
Yeah,
next to
some
the
sort
other.
of mutation took place in a what scant like 50, 60 years. They all mutated. What?
Well,
It
there's
was
a
just
reason. They actually talked about that sort of. There's an episode of Deep Space Nine where Worf and a handful of other people go back to in time to deal on Kurt's ship. Was Trouble with Tribbles,
mhm,
and he had O'Brien there from Next Generation, and he's
mhm.
looking at Worf. Somebody's like Klingons. They're all kind of looking around, and Worf just kind of puts down his head. We don't talk about it outside the Klingon Empire. Dot 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 dot. They were trying to. The concept, from my understanding, was the Klingons never. The Klingons looked more like what Worf did in the very beginning. Then they start cloning themselves. This was during the Khan era. Khan? Yeah, Khan. No. Am I thinking of the right guy?
Yeah,
Air, where they're trying to.
their version of the eugenics.
Yeah, they're
The
trying to
eugenics
make
war.
themselves look more human so they can sneak in and, get us that way.
Mhm.
I mean, that show goes this way, goes that way, double backs. It's, some episodes are even in the original Star Trek is woke as fuck. Then they go hard right or
Well,
they go
it
hard
wasn't. It
left.
wasn't. Okay, see, there's a difference. People say it was woke. No, it wasn't woke. It was full of sort of a cross between hippieism and the whole idea of racial equality, etc. Not the way like with woke, it's a matter of subliminal racial superiority and gender superiority.
Is that how you take woke? Is that
Yeah,
your very?
feminism must replace the old world order as well as Whitey must die.
Well, at least you're not Welsh. Anyways, I get it. I don't
I
know.
mean that is the underlying sentiment of wokeism.
Interesting. Well, let's drive this back to start. Let's get back onto sci-fi and keep that
Well,
stuff.
yeah, that's the
I know I'm
what
the
I
one
was
who opened up
getting
the
at.
door. I'm just inviting you back through the door and closing it behind.
What I was getting at is that, for example, with the transporter technology, the replicator technology, and the various mistakes that happened that created two Rikers, turned Guinan and the Roe and Picard into children with their brains intact. You had everything it took to become immortal. All of humanity or whoever could literally live forever. And they said, nah, we're not going to do that. Bullshit. I know somewhere in the Federation, there is a cabal of motherfuckers that have been around forever. They're running things. And it's not those little brain squigglies that went in the back of the head and came out the mouth or whatever, those controlling parasites.
Yeah,
No, it's a cabal of motherfuckers who are never going to die. They just keep cloning themselves and reprogramming their brains and living for
section what was it?
forever,
Section 31.
something like that, and they all have their own cloaking device ships, and they're freaking, not afraid of the Borg, not afraid of the Q, because they have all this crazy tech that's forbidden to everybody else, but, not them.
I think one of my favorite.
Like in the episode of the original Trek when Kirk stole a freaking cloaking device. From that moment on, the Federation had cloaking devices in their secret service or whatever you want to call it, and we all know that humanity would have done that and we just weren't going to ever see those Dark Trek episodes, which would make a great series of all the evil shit that the Federation was doing behind the scenes. They're black ops, if you will, with all that crazy tech. But no, we're just supposed to believe that Federation is this beneficent,
Well, that's
group of
That's
people,
what Gene Roddenberry wanted to be. I mean, he kind of when next
and
there was
yeah,
supposed to be with Star Trek, with the original Star Trek, from my understanding of the documentaries and whatnot, Star Trek when was there's no more wars. There are peace amongst the universe. There's no
well, when there's
conflict.
no longer scarcity and things like that, sure, maybe, but the
But you
rest of the
need
universe
conflict
doesn't.
to have stories,
What?
and you need conflicts for stories. You need
Yeah,
a Federation to go against the Romulans or the Borg or the Klingons or whoever for that week.
Gemini, all kinds of crazy shit, sure, but it's unrealistic, and uh, I don't care how far into the future you go, humans are still going to be corrupt. Maybe not all of them. A lot of them are going to get suckered into, towing the party line and doing what they're supposed to and doing what they're told. But the people in power are going to do what all people in power have done always, and that's allow themselves to be corrupted in the most heinous way possible, and they will get away with it.
All I need is a replicator, a holodeck, and a.
Oh yeah, the holodeck, that was another one. They could literally start manufacturing people exactly the way they wanted them to think and act and live with the use of all three of those devices: the holodeck, replicator, transporters. They could literally start pumping out clones or replicants or whatever you want to call it of people that would do and obey whatever they were told to do and obey.
Well, I've made this argument before. It started off as a joke, but not replicating. Transporters is murder.
Yes. Yeah. They're murder machines. If you don't, uh, I don't know. I mean, obviously, Roddenberry was an atheist, didn't believe in God.
But he made Q, which is about as
or
close as
Lane and
well with Q is about as close as to a god in Star Trek. The Qs, the core of the Qs, whatever they're
the continuum.
yeah, is about as close as a god that he's ever going to touch. What he when he was alive.
Oh yeah, after all that rapey stuff Roddenberry was into, the casting couch, etc., as well as possibly being a pedo, depending on what stories you believe or whatnot. Yeah, he's not. You know, he's
I don't know his personal back history. There's been There's been
I saw
videos.
some stuff and what's up? What's up?
Hey,
Oh,
do you got time to jump in, Bo?
probably not. He's probably working.
It's Labor Day. Sick people can stay home.
No, I don't think that's the way it works. Where he works, we don't want those people going home, right, Bo? They
I
need
mean,
to
you
be
don't
right
go to
where
the
they are.
hospital to get better. It's full of sick people.
Yeah, well,
It's
but
like
I would love to see someone have. I mean, I would love to see someone do a show that addressed all that dark shit um, from what we only a fool wouldn't believe is the Federation dark side. The Black Ops shit.
oh yeah.
The just because everybody was just too damn squeaky clean, and I can't believe that's a
Yeah.
real possibility.
Uh,
I can believe that the Federation and the people who, work in the Federation have to be screened and are those kinds of people. But what about the other people? Anytime you ever saw like regular folk, they were just as squeaky clean. They maybe those Irish folk they brought on board were,
that episode is one of my favorites.
was a good episode, but even then, you know, and it was funny because that that was that generation's version of the space hippies trying to go to Eden. Remember that episode? I hated that episode. I hated that one
Well,
so much.
you got, you got a bunch of Irish folk, good, hardworking fellows, and the
Sure.
woman they had cast played the daughter. Hubba 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 hubba. I'd
So, you
watch
know
her.
what? She could not compare to Ivanka Newman as a younger woman when she played oh God, who did she play? She played that like woman that everybody couldn't resist.
Oh, 10? No, that's not it. Yeah, I know who
She
you're
had
talking.
that weird psychic power that everybody was just like, attracted to, all the men at least. Everybody was just like out of control when she was around. Yeah, she's smoking.
Oh no, just there's that. The accent did it for me. The fierceness of there's the fierceness of personality does it for me. That's why Puerto Rican women scare for all the right reasons. So
There
did
were a couple others. I thought uh, Tasha's sister was pretty hot.
Tasha's
There
sister.
was that woman on like the plague ship.
Oh, okay. But
Let's see,
Tasha is some damaged goods. I mean, if you actually look into her backstory,
who?
not Tasha, the blonde that was the security person for the
Yeah,
first couple
Tasha
of,
Yar.
yeah,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
had
yeah. In real life or in the show, because they were both pretty messed up.
both, both.
I think the real one was more messed up. Let's put it
It
that way.
probably was. I mean, she was got brought back to the show as a Vulcan clone,
Romulan,
Romulan. Yeah,
not a clone. The daughter of Tasha Yar that didn't die, which was whatever. You shouldn't have left, bitch. You signed a contract, stick with it, and watch your mouth. Make me a sandwich.
I heard. Yeah. What was this? Who am I thinking of? Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Jeez, Picard. The actor who played Picard was really uptight for like the first season and a half. Then he finally just broke. Then
I
he,
couldn't stand him from the very first minute. This pretentious little prig. Uh, Nothing about him. Nothing.
I enjoyed his character. I mean, I know where they got his character is based off of. That I think that's why I enjoyed him. Uh, but no, I get it. I mean, I didn't like what they were. I when they decided to make Worf a person and not just an animal and uniform, that his storyline got better. I jokingly say when Worf starts growing out his hair, it's when his storyline picks up.
I couldn't stand that character either. I hated him from the minute I saw him. He was just such a perfect example of the token everything.
Eh, all right.
It was kind of insulting, because there were like no other actors in the show that were black. And not only could they not just make him a black guy, but they had to make him an alien. It's like there's no
Well,
black
Jordy
crew.
was black.
Yeah, but everybody hated him.
Jordy. Then you had Whoopi Goldberg before she went crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Then I mean, there was other black
I
gentlemen.
usually turned it off when it was a Geordie episode.
Right. I'm just saying they had other maybe guest appearance, but there was other black. But Worf
Yeah, I
was
think
main
Eddie
cast.
Murphy was in an episode.
Eddie Murphy was.
Yeah,
I missed that.
remember the? I'm pretty sure it was Eddie Murphy. If it wasn't, then I'm a horrible human being. Oh well, okay, I'm a horrible human being. But the episode where there are only 5 people on the planet and they were all clones and there were a whole bunch of them.
Oh, that wasn't Eddie Murphy.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's the
Could've
same one with
sworn
the Irish one. That's one of my favorite episodes because they picked up the Irish people whose shit was or whatever's dying. Then they had because that was the episode where they that was the season where they dumped the redhead doctor for the blonde doctor who I never
The
cared.
older,
Yeah,
the
I
female
thought
version of McCoy.
I saw what they were doing. I just didn't enjoy her character. She was
I
just
didn't like either of them. So Troy was okay in the first couple of seasons, but then she started packing on the pounds, and they had to dress her up more and more like Stevie Nicks to hide it. And I'm like, yeah, she's just freaking spending all her paycheck on freaking ice cream.
or not her first role. It might have been her first role was getting was in a Death Wish movie.
Yeah.
Riker's good. Riker has some good episodes.
He was the man. What are you talking about?
The episode with his dad when they're back there doing that weird martial arts, that was just dumb.
They had to,
The more superior of all these martial arts. I have a whoppy steak and I'm blindfolded. Oh, okay.
it was pretty dumb.
Let's see. Data when they inadvertently, this is the second season, inadvertently made Dr. Moriarty
Moriarty. Yeah, that's one of the things I was talking about. When they did that, that showed they could literally make it, and then they could take that and use the replicator and the transporter technology and make him flesh and blood.
Maybe.
Yeah, they absolutely could.
I mean, it wasn't until
means you throw all that information into a transporter and the replicator, and you've got a machine that will make whoever you want. Literally electronic, freaking digitally created slaves. I mean, you could already go into the holodeck and enact any fantasy you wanted. You throw that,
yeah. I mean, could
right?
you imagine if holodecks were a thing? I mean, we're close with
no,
VR.
Because no one. There would have to be a special kind of people that would be willing to clean those rooms up.
As I've been told, $20 is $20.
Yeah, that's just nasty. And the worst part about it is it would all be on record somewhere.
Oh God, yeah.
And tell me you couldn't get blackmailed until society got to the point where they didn't care anymore, and then the rest of the galaxy would hunt us humans down for being the most degenerate fucks on the planet or in the galaxy.
I always wanted to do a Dungeons and Dragons in a holodeck.
We think of like when I was young, I was like, that would be awesome. You could just your spare time, your free time, you go down into the dungeon and do all the things, but there would be such a long line of pervs waiting to get their freaking spank on that you'd never get the opportunity.
Or basically live out through pick one of your favorite novels, and be able to play one of the characters in the novels.
Like Dixon Hill and all that. They made sense.
It'd be fun.
Really, shut up before I beat you with an inch of your life.
I don't know. Man.
Star Trek had its moments, my buddies, when Next Generation came on, we were, as a matter of fact, the episode, the Robin Hood episode, came out first aired on my birthday. And I'm a huge Robin Hood fan. I got 2 different copies of Robin Hood right over there. One of my favorite, pieces of literature of all time. And I saw that, and it had Q in it. And what's her name? Meredith Vieira, I think, or whoever. It was we were literally, especially like the Borg episodes, commercials would come on, and my buddy would be like on the phone. Oh my God, did you see that? Same thing with Babylon 5 when we actually used phones for what they're for. and actually made phone calls. It was, again, it was the only game in town. When as a kid, Star Trek, there was nothing else that was regular. You might catch a movie, every once in a while, like Friday night or something like that. There'd be a movie on one of the three channels. But Saturday, I think, and Sunday at like roughly like what we had dinner at our dinner time, Star Trek was on. So we watched Star Trek for years, in syndication, and then when it went off, shortly thereafter. Hey, what's up, Omen? For me, it was we weren't in school anymore. I might have even been out of graduated from college then, and some of these friends lived, an hour away, and they would be over a lot anyways to play D&D and stuff. But it just seemed like when Star Trek was on, these couple of friends were always at home, and we would just enjoy the shit out of it. It was something regular, especially Next Generation, for was it 7 years?
Yeah.
That's okay. I had a professor, and he said we could call him any time we wanted. Didn't matter if it was 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. But unless Star Trek was on, if Star Trek was on, he wouldn't answer the phone. And I had a few of my classmates call him up. He's like, "Sorry, Star Trek's on," and he'd hang up on them.
Uh-huh.
And then what was even funnier is his daughter had a flat tire on the side of the road. And she called up. He's like, "Sorry, honey, Star Trek's on," and he hung up on her.
What's up, RPG Dad? There was an episode of the Drew Carey show, and the dark-haired friend, and was that Oswald, or was that the other guy, the redhead?
I think it's Oswald. That's the one that you're talking about. The one that was also in
was the voice of Batman?
No, he was the one that was talking about, make sure they don't get your cornhole in Office Space.
Oh, no. I was talking about there's this episode where the dark-haired friend and Drew Carey are outside in the backyard, just hanging out. And the other guy, the redhead, the tall, skinny guy, he was inside Drew's house watching Babylon 5, not letting anybody in so no one would interrupt or talk while he was watching Babylon 5. That's how intense Babylon 5 was for us nerds. There's like, shut up, don't talk. I don't even care if it's commercial. No talking. I'm watching Babylon 5.
Yeah, I had a friend that loved Babylon 5, and I was like, look, I can't get into it if it's going to be this well, I'm sorry, soap opera initially, and then when TNT, before their 5th season, said, okay, we'll play the whole thing every day, and they did it in the morning before. I can't remember what time it was, but it was basically either when I woke up or because I was working a night shift or when I was going to sleep. I was like, oh wow, this is awesome, and I could catch up on all the episodes, and I started from the beginning, and that worked out great.
It was a great show. Season 1's rough.
Yep.
But once you get into the big Lord of the Rings-esque story, it was epic, just straight up epic. And for the longest time, it was my favorite sci-fi until obviously Firefly came out, which was way more my speed.
It took me a while to actually. I mean, I like sci-fi. Don't get me wrong, but the sci-fi I liked, there wasn't shows for at that time.
What about Blake 7?
That was before me. Thank you.
Yeah, well, it was before me too. Well, not really before me, but that show was, if you can get past the cheesy costumes, that show was. I was watching another video about it last night. How freaking brutal it was. It was all about, losers. They were. Did you watch it, Omen?
What, Blake 7?
Yeah.
I have never watched it. Just partially because I didn't even know it existed. I don't
Yeah,
remember where I could watch it on television anyway. So,
I actually got a subscription to BritBox for 1 week, so I could binge watch that and uh, Red Dwarf, and I did, and then I canceled the subscription, and you still can't find Blake Seven on DVD or anything like that. It was so dark.
I did watch someone talk about it. I said, "Oh, okay, I understand." But that was a very British thing of making things dark. In the United States, was very much more positive and upbeat and more.
Yeah, it was
hopeful.
a shock. It was a serious shock for me when I saw it the first time, which was only just like a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe. And,
2 years ago.
Yeah, and it was like, I always grew up thinking, the Brits were, a lot cheerier and lighthearted, but damn.
I remember watching, which was fun because it was on Nickelodeon, and was a British show, quote, aimed at kids. It was real dark about space aliens and stuff. This was in the 80s or early 90s. This was it had kids. It was not animated at all. It was a British show.
Was it the Tomorrow People?
I don't know. I don't remember. Look, it's been almost 35 years.
That was an era would be watching that channel, and the kid show. I mean, roughly. I mean, the closest we had in Star Trek, me growing up, was Doctor Who, and I'm a big Doctor Who fan.
That used to be too.
Tom Baker will always be my biggest. Yeah, I'm just waiting for a new Doctor. The last 2 Doctors, in my opinion, were right. Well, no. The last Doctor, the current Doctor, I'm not a fan of. The one before her, the woman, it's not that I wasn't a fan of her. I just didn't like the writing.
When David Tennant pulled the shit that he did, I was done.
He ended up with her in the end.
Well, the problem really comes down to this.
No, when the BBC said, "Well, the Doctor's gay. He's always been gay," and you're going to say, "Yeah, I guess I've always been gay." The Doctor was never gay, even when the Doctor was a woman. It was just like, this is bullshit. This is woke bullshit. I'm done.
The benefit, I mean, I'm not going to argue over this with you on this one. I know where you're going. I know your opinion on it. The power of regeneration kind of makes them able to come back as whatever. That's what the regeneration.
Right. But to say that he was always that way,
I never caught that.
He literally said it when David Tennant came back after he was gone for a while, and
I blame Disney for that one. That was a Disney.
And he was walking with Sarah Jane, I guess her name was. They're walking and they're talking about Isaac Newton, and she said, how hot he was, and then David Tennant said, yeah, something like that, and then he's like, she's looking at him like, you're gay, and he's like, oh, I guess I always have been that way.
Well, this is sci-fi once again. He's an alien. And you're basing an alien's thought processing on human morality?
The love of his life was that woman I can't stand, who used to be on ER.
That was that Doctor's love of its life.
That was David Tennant.
Right. Matt Smith was that River Song.
So how's that possible?
Okay. I hate saying this. The problem is it's bad writing. It's not like you can't sneak crap in. Again, all of us who watched Aliens and loved that, when they were talking about, but you slept with the dude, he's like, well, if they're Arcturian, it doesn't matter. It's not like you can sneak little things into this stuff. But instead, the problem is that it's terrible writing where they ham-fist it and go, of course you know this. This is the way it's always been. And it's like, look, I don't mind if you're going to do some weird crap. Let's be honest. I enjoyed playing.
I mean, they had that character from that other show that what was that other show that like did like a crossover episode or two where they had that one character, real handsome guy who would like boink anyone or anything.
Oh, it wasn't. It was Jack. Yeah, he showed up. His first, he was the face of Bo.
Yeah.
He was the face of Bo. Then, and he was just.
And then they went backward to explain that.
Yeah, he was human. I mean, he was human from a different time. I have no idea. I don't exactly remember. No, he was an alien in his own right.
Yeah.
And he's just walking hard on.
Yeah.
I mean, Deadpool, Marvel is a walking hard on.
Well, some of it is it's not like you could say, hey, they don't go through, which does happen with some animals. They go through different phases. Guess what? They go through a male phase and they go through a female phase. And they go like that's especially in sci-fi. No one has any real problems with that as much. The problem is when you're trying to shoehorn just bad writing in instead of saying this is trying to make that's
when the Doctor's good, it's great. When it has bad writers, it doesn't matter who's
the whole time with Christopher Eccleston and the original parts with David Tennant. But I
like Matt Smith's Doctor.
I never saw him because I stopped watching it when Rose had to go off with the fake clone of the Doctor and just live her life with a hand-me-down, secondhand Doctor. That was just like, that was shit. You know what I mean?
You know what though? I am so glad that I don't wrap myself into a lot of it. I just go, I'm more sad and go, you know what? This doesn't exist in my world. That's why
Torchwood. Thank you, RPG Dad. Yeah, that was the show.
That's what I do with all of this stuff. It doesn't exist in my world.
Right. See, I was just going to say that, Bo, when, because I would have never guessed that when he was playing opposite of Billy Piper, Rose Tyler. I would have never guessed. They had like great chemistry. I'm like, yeah, finally the Doctor's going to get it on, because I hated that girl from.
Well, at one point, the Doctor did get it on because in the very first Doctor, God, all right, let me put on my nerd hat, my deep nerd hat here. The pilot episode Doctor had a granddaughter, therefore he had to have had kids at one point or the other.
I think that he should have just, as a true Doctor Who fashion is, there was just a bud that came off and it fell off and just grew into another Doctor, and then that would have been easy enough.
Well, that's kind of what he did with the Rose Tyler thing. A clone from his severed hand grew into another Doctor, and she got to, Rose had to live in that other dimension or the whatever, and with the clone that had none of the abilities.
But was it a clone?
Like her.
But was it a clone? Because if the hand came off the original body,
whatever it was going to have, whatever it was going to only live as long as Rose. It was just going to, be like a regular. It was like a human with the Doctor's memories, but none of the regenerative powers. They were just going to go off and live happily ever after. The whole time, she's thinking, gosh, it's great, but you're not the real guy. You know what I mean? Eventually that's going to wear on you.
You're assuming that's what she's thinking.
It's human nature, dude. Trust me.
It depends on where they fit on the hot and crazy matrix.
Remember, this is the same actress who did
we're talking Billy Piper, okay?
Yeah.
Billy Piper.
You know what? She always she was attractive, but there was kind of an uncanny valley for me with her.
Yeah, she does have that weird sort of like cat-shaped mouth.
Yeah, it wasn't quite right, and it was like you look attractive.
It's literally like her one of her ancestors was a cat. That's all I'm saying.
No. I watched cat people. Those were attractive women. Anyway.
No. I mean that's if you look, you can see that weird sort of line right here and
I
everything.
know. I'm teasing about the whole thing. If you ever
you're
saw the
one
movie
of
Cat
the,
People,
if you're one of the 6 people watching today's programming, it is
Not
early enough
many,
where
huh?
I'm sure that you could find something else because this is just going down to the rabbit hole of what the hell was I drinking last night. But thank you for joining us. And if you want to add anything to the message board, keep it up, Bo, P, RPG Dad, and all you guys are great. Hey, we picked
Bo,
another person.
once you get to season 3 and season 4, then season 5 is going to suck for you. But season 3 and 4 is just the shit. It's just like, oh my god.
I'm going to say this much: is the first season you can tell they were trying to find their legs for Babylon 5.
Oh, okay, that's
Season
what we're
2,
talking about.
yeah. What I mean, but they were trying to find their legs, and you could tell that they were trying to make it into. And I hate to say it, but it's true, kind of into a soap opera, full story. But then they had to do the one-offs just because that's the way that the serials were. And then once it got its legs, you could tell by the second season it generally got its legs, and then they laid all the groundwork that you're going to start seeing in season 3 and 4. So they're going to bring back stuff from like 2 seasons ago, which is what I love. Is they just, they were calling back to things. But you guys talked about Doctor Who. I'm like, the last time I saw Doctor Who was like 1987. So.
I mean, sci-fi. I'm kind of getting my weird sci-fi. Well, I was starting to watch Babylon 5 on Prime. Then they put it behind a paywall. I'm like, oh darn, I don't get to watch it right now. Shucks. So I'm like, all right, I can live with this. I've been watching the Alien Earth on Hulu.
Okay.
And
was that the Roddenberry one?
No, Aliens. I was in Xenomorphs.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was thinking about okay.
Which they basically just said, Prometheus and Covenant did not happen. Sorry, David did not make the Xenomorphs, which I'm appreciating. That one, there's another show on Prime. That's on Hulu. On Prime, I'm watching Uploaded, which is it's weird.
I watched the first season for it, but it wasn't enough to keep me for the second season. And actually, the same one was Carnival.
Yeah. I've been meaning to watch that one.
I mean, to get to season 2, but it came out right before COVID, and then COVID hit, and it got delayed like by 3 years or something. And so I was like, I just haven't been able to get
what show I wish they'd bring back?
What?
House MD. I enjoyed the fuck out of that show.
Yep, that was a good show.
It was well done. You know what I miss? If you're going to talk about similar time frame, Boston Legal.
That show.
Speaking of Boston Legal, I was going to say, have you guys watched The Blacklist? If not, what are you doing with your life?
I've
watching anime.
I need to watch the last 2. I fell off of Blacklist when Elizabeth died. I'm like,
oh, it only got better.
I know how it ends. I know how the show ends because somebody had to ruin it for me.
I would kill them.
So I do plan on watching the last 2, but I thought the show was amazing, absolutely amazing. From that, I don't know. I'm doing British right now. I'm watching a few British murder mystery cop shows. On there's one on Netflix called Department Q that's really good. I haven't been. I'm.
You know what I enjoyed for the first probably 5 seasons, and I'm not sure where it was 6 or 7 where I kind of fell off, but there were only 7 seasons total. Was The Expanse.
That's on Prime. I should probably watch that some point.
You should. Well, the first one, and I kind of wish they'd extended it, but sometimes, the way that they're going. But the first one's kind of like a murder mystery, and they're trying to figure stuff out, and I thought that was really cool. And then, I guess the last 2 seasons Amazon picked up, which were okay. But some of the characters I did enjoy off of that. But I liked its very hardcore sci-fi aspects to it. Like things took weeks to travel between, different. Of course, you do the time jumps, but yeah, it's like between Earth and Mars. It took like, days or weeks. Things would, when they're doing stuff. I like
Actual
the fact
science,
they had,
not just TV science.
yeah, well, things like, hey, if you're going to do this, if you are, for the Martians and the humans, and the humans are naturally stronger because they're in a higher gravity. I mean, they're all humans, but we're talking about Earthlings. Earthlings were in a higher gravity, whereas the Belters, because they were in very low gravity, didn't have the same ability to withstand, normal Earth gravity. Just because they hadn't gone up that way. Anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting.
What was the sci-fi show? It was another Roddenberry one. There was one with Kevin Sorbo.
Andromeda?
I enjoyed that for what it was.
Andromeda?
Yeah, I liked it.
I only saw the first season. I don't know if it went
you
further.
watched the first 4 seasons and you just ignored the 5th season.
Oh, well, I didn't even know it went that long. I watched Andromeda for 1 season, and then I didn't have a television from basically Thanksgiving 2000 until probably 2008, 2009. Sometimes I might go over to a friend's house to watch stuff.
Yeah. Because if I'm remembering it correctly, that was the story that Roddenberry originally wanted to tell, but the studio said no.
Well, there was another one he had, which was Earth Final Conflict or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that one too. That was weird.
Well, the first season was okay, but then the second season, by my understanding, again, it was one of those that I didn't see, but the second season, by my understanding, just tanked itself. I enjoyed, one that I did enjoy that's near sci-fi was Dark Angel, but I heard the second season was terrible. There's so many things that like they had such promise. And like, oh man, these are great.
Dark Matter. You guys see that one?
Yes, I've seen Dark Matter.
That one was freaking amazing. And then canceled.
The other one I really enjoyed was, did you guys ever see sometimes where they had the Tales from the Dark Side and they would do the sci-fi stuff in that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I always liked it because they were kind of a morality tale, very similar to the
yeah, wasn't that where a Small Talent for War came?
I don't know. I'm just saying that Tales from the Dark Side had, they usually had a morality tale, and sometimes it had to deal with monsters, sometimes dealt with aliens, but they were not interconnected. They never touched on each other. And then the other one I really enjoyed was the newer Outer Limits, the 90s version.
Oh, that was good. Yeah.
Maybe that's where Small Town for War was. It was one of the two.
I'm trying to think of 90s. I mean, I was just
hold on a second. I'll be right back, guys.
We had a lot of sci-fi in the 90s, so let's look at the 90s, and we may deal with the late 80s. You had Babylon 5. You had Earth Final Conflict. There's one, I'm not sure exactly if it was late 80s or early 90s. Do you remember Alien Nation?
Oh, yeah. Between the movie and the TV series, yeah.
The TV series was pretty good. It was a cop show basically with aliens, but I was like, okay. They had, of course, the Star Trek. So they had, regular Star Trek. The New Generation. They had Deep Space Nine.
Voyager didn't come out until the 2000s.
Yeah, but they had Star Trek Enterprise somewhere in there too.
That was in later in the 2000s.
Okay, so anyway, they had that. We had Andromeda, Earth Final Conflict. What was some of the other ones? Of course, there were a lot of sci-fi.
X-Files.
The X-Files, yes.
I actually enjoyed the X-Files. I've never quite figured out why.
I enjoyed the X-Files, but I'll be honest, I enjoyed their one-offs more than their alien aspect. I didn't care about the aliens. I did. One of my favorite episodes is still the devil worshipping PTA that they were trying to solve.
Lucifer herself shows up as a substitute teacher.
Yeah, it was something like that, but they got the PTA to worship the devil. And I was like, those are the stuff that I really enjoyed. And
if you go back and actually watch the X-Files, it's amazing how many young actors that show had on it that became, big name actors now. It was kind of like MASH for its time.
Yeah, well, actually, if you look at some of the other ones, whether it's Star Trek or some of these others, they had a lot of like cameos for people that were there.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, oh, well, where did this person go? Oh, what was I just had it on my mind. I can't remember. There was another sci-fi that was in there too. Oh, Space Above and Beyond.
Sliders.
Sliders. Yep.
Sliders was good for the first like about the first 2 seasons of Sliders was great. When they killed off the professors, when I jumped off.
Yeah. There's you can tell sometimes, and I understand why he left. What was it? Reese Davies. You know.
Because they sold it to him as one thing, and it was very much becoming something else.
Yeah, but come on, he became Gimli, so we're okay. I still love to, I still love his stuff. We had a lot. The '90s there were a few fantasy things, but man, the '90s was just chocked full of. You had Stargate.
Yeah, the show that never ended.
Well, that's true, but I meant, but there were tons of sci-fi shows all in the '90s.
Oh yeah,
there weren't that many in the '80s. And then 2000s, it kind of petered out after Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, and they're coming back. So there's more. I'm not saying there's as many sci-fi shows as there are now as there was in the '90s, but they're making their way back into the media.
I think the problem is that a lot of the sci-fi shows just became too dystopian, and and what I mean by that is it's not that you can't have dark storylines, but there didn't seem to be hope that they weren't winning. It was kind of like, hey, we're going to be like Blake Seven. We're always going to have a depressing end. And people are like, no, I'm out.
Well, in the mid 2000s, we had Eureka, which was actually a fun show.
There was Eureka. There was Warehouse 13 or whatever. I was
the Sci-Fi Channel shows.
Yeah, exactly.
And those were fun. I mean, they really were fun. I mean, I think me and you both agree that I think Farscape was probably one of my favorite sci-fi shows.
What I loved about Farscape is it was the first time I saw someone do live action puppets, like real actors, puppets, and CGI all combined, and it had a completely different look. I went back and finally finished off all of Farscape because I watched like a season or two of it, and then I didn't have a television after that.
Right.
So there was that. Like I said,
you watched Peacekeeper Wars that the movie went with it?
Yep, I watched that at the very end, which finished off the whole storyline.
That's.
Well, we had Firefly in the early 2000s too, and that died. But then we had Serenity, which was the movie. So I was like, okay, that sounds good. And I think I saw Serenity before I saw all of the episodes.
Well, they didn't even air the episodes in the correct order when they were on Fox.
I know. It was by the time that I'll be honest, I was there. I think my father went in. I watched one episode, and then that was because I was visiting my parents who did have a television. And then there was this show, and my friend was in college, and he's like, "Yeah, but we were in college," and he went, "Oh yeah, it's this great show called Firefly," and he had the DVD set. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." There was. I'll tell you some other stuff I really enjoyed. If you want to talk about movies, and it did have Dark, but it still had at the end. I still love Dark City.
I need to find some time to rewatch it. I haven't saw that movie since I was a kid. I found Tubi has it for free, so I need to watch.
We were watching. Well, my son was watching kung fu films yesterday.
Nice.
We were watching Legend of the Drunken Master 2. I'm like, you have to see this, and he was laughing his head off the entire time.
That one is far superior than the first one.
Oh yeah. No, I finally saw the first one, but I'm just thinking about all the stuff I grew up with as a kid. It was every Saturday morning. Not Saturday morning. It was like after cartoons in the middle of the day. So you'd they'd have like 4 hours of kung fu films on your off stations. Oh, there's your son behind you, Shadow.
Does he have a stash? He does have a porn stash.
He has. I don't know what it is. It apparently all people that want to go in the Air Force or Army, not Army, Air Force, Marine, and Navy all want that kind of mustache. I'm like, really?
Show him. Yeah. He had it all curled up and everything.
I did it yesterday because I was bored.
So
Jackie Chan Master 2.
Because you were bored yesterday, you curved all. That's awesome. I mean, you do have a porn stash, though.
Yeah, you just don't have the ethnicity. You have to be a full-on Indian with those glorious mustaches that they put in their movies. You have to be like really
yeah.
twirling it. you have to get that full twirl, you know.
This kid's getting smarter by the minute. Better watch out, guys. He's going to be on the ballot.
Or what? He's going to go into Bollywood.
No, he's gonna be on the ballot, and Connell's gonna be like, "Shit, Shadow was right."
If he ends up on the ballot, I'd vote for Jack as I'm packing my bags and move out of the country.
I don't know what I would do.
Extradite him back for war crimes.
That's all right. I figure by then Greenland will be accepting refugees.
I hope Iceland is.
Well, yeah, I'll move a seat over for you if you want to hang out.
I just think, I all we need is more global warming, and Iceland will be, a paradise. I'm sorry, Greenland will be a paradise. Just like it was in year 1000 to 1200.
Yeah. No, 90s was fun. I mean, what was the other show? They had the guy from
You want to go inside? You want to go?
what was that? He was from Fire in the Sky. Strange Luck.
Okay. Wasn't there one, and I forget what it was called. There were like two different ones. One was like and I don't know what the shows were, but it sounds very sci-fi, where they had a like space police or something like that.
I'm not ringing a bell.
I
I
know
do
there-
remember fondly War of the Worlds.
Oh, I remember that in the early 90s or late 80s.
Right around the
Yeah.
same time as the Friday the 13th TV show, the predecessor to
Yeah.
Warehouse 13 or whatever, or Eureka.
Well, yeah, Friday the 13th series annoyed me in certain aspects because Nightmare on Elm Street had its own story, own TV show, and Freddy was kind of the Crypt Keeper. Oh God, Crypt Keeper! Bring back
from the
Crypt
Crypt?
Keeper.
Oh, you're talking about you're talking
Well,
about
they
Tales from the
did.
Dark
Her
Side?
name's
No,
Nancy Pelosi.
yeah, no, it's yeah, I know. No, but the Friday the 13th, and I was like, Deborah Messinger. I was like, what? She was 19 in that?
Yeah, she
Was that her?
Yeah, that was her. And then I was like, because I remember seeing another show, and I said, she doesn't look that old. And then I looked back and I was like, man, she was young in that series. I did enjoy the one where they were trying to fight off the demon, and then you find out that the daughter was the cult member, where they had guns and everything else. It's like, well, that's cool. I enjoyed that.
I always thought it was pretty humorous that the actor Jack Marshak, the old man, got to play himself. His name was Jack Marshak, the actor, and his character's name was Jack Marshak.
A little side notice. Go ahead.
The only other person I think who got to do that was Woody Harrelson on Cheers.
I do think that by the time we got to the 2000s, especially with the success of Game of Thrones, that's where they started going through. But I don't know if you remember, it's going more to supernatural and magic. Do you remember the Librarians?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, with Noah Wiley.
So you had
Man.
the Librarians, and then they had
my girlfriend Stana Katic.
and my mother enjoyed that. And then what were some of the other ones that I enjoyed? Penny Dreadful.
Penny Dreadful was fun.
I watched the whole thing, but
that was one of the few shows where Eva Green kept her clothes on most of the time.
No, she was completely naked in a couple of those.
I said most of the time. I
Yeah.
said all the time.
that woman, God, I hated her
And what?
because she's just awful, an awful human being.
She
They
does.
were talking about the same woman.
I don't think we're talking about the same woman.
I can't remember Eva Green doing anything controversial. other
Yeah,
than,
Eva
like,
Green
stripping.
does her movies, then disappears back into her home life. She's not married. She doesn't do media. She just does
Is
movies.
she the same woman who was in Little Shop of Horrors?
No.
No,
Okay.
no.
I'm thinking
Ava
of-
Green was the one that was. She was a Bond girl in Casino Royale,
Okay, I'm definitely thinking the wrong person.
and then she was also She always does like these weird things. Do you remember the movie where they did? Oh, what was
She was
what
in
was the
sequel-
what was the one with the vampire? The vampires. It was a
Forever
series.
Night?
No. It was before them, from like the 1970s. And they
Dark
did a
Shadows?
remake. Yes, and they did a remake for the movie. She was the villain in that one.
I didn't see that.
With
I
Johnny
did
Depp?
watch the TV show. Yeah, I couldn't picture him as, Barnabas.
Barnabas,
It
yeah,
was
being
it was
there.
intended to be fun, and it was a fun movie to watch. If you
That's
try and take
one
it
of the few-
seriously,
That's one of the few times where I don't.
It was
Tim-
like when they redid Land of the Lost with Seth Rogen. Is that his name?
no, you're talking about
No,
Will
that
Ferrell.
was Will
Will
Ferrell,
Ferrell.
and I can't stomach that guy.
Well,
Yeah.
and I watched it. I was like, this is just bad writing. This was no. The one that they
It's
did.
like
with
they
Dark
never even watched the show.
Well, the problem that I had with it is like, well, we're going to do more. We're going to do more adult humor. It's like, well, what are
Well,
you doing? Sometimes I think they forget that I don't mind taking my kids to stuff, and if it's just fun, then I'll watch it too. But no, The Dark Shadows I thought was just a fun movie.
That was a Tim Burton one, right? Yeah, that's Tim Burton.
Which one,
uh,
Dark Shadows?
Yeah.
Well,
Dark
yeah,
Shadows.
Johnny Depp's in it. 9 times out of 10, it's a Tim Burton film.
Well, the one thing is like they brought back Wednesday Adams has her own show on Netflix, and it's actually really good. It fits, and everybody's like, "Why is Johnny Depp not in it?" I'm like, because they don't like the person who plays Gomez. But he's not as suave as the guy from the Adams Family, the movie.
Raul Julia.
Right. This guy
He was
actually
perfect.
he was perfect.
fucking perfect.
He was perfect, and I'm not saying that part, but he wasn't the comic book embodiment of Gomez. The actor that they have play him, actually, he is.
And that same actor was really, really, really good in The Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes, as the guy. Yes, we're talking about the same guy. Yeah, he played
was really good in it.
Gomez, and it's brilliant. It's a really good show.
Well, let's see.
I
Well-
didn't think about the comic book aspect because you're right. He was kind of portly in the comic strip.
He was toadish.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to be rude, but he was toadish.
Well, the whole point of them was to make it. I'll admit this much: I enjoyed the 1990s version of the Addams Family, the
With
two
Tim
movies.
Curry?
No, he's talking about the movies. He's talking
Okay,
about
yeah,
the
because those were good.
No.
Angelica
The original one was, I can't remember his first name, but it was Aston.
I want his
Oh yeah,
cigar
that's
budget.
the TV show. That's TV
Yeah,
show.
the original TV show was
John
Aston.
Aston.
I
Yeah.
want his cigar budget.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
What I loved is that they said that the set was painted pink because it showed up better in black and white.
I was a big fan of the movies with like I said, Raul Julia. Angelica Houston was a phenomenal Morticia. But when they had Tim Curry and Daryl Hannah as,
I
it was
mean,
just
Tim
like
Curry is a weird. I don't personally have any issues with Tim Curry. He's done some movies I kind of like, but he's another one of those actors that kind of just did his thing and just disappeared back in his own private life.
well, yeah, his private life was.
But that's his private life.
Yeah, he's not trying to put it out in front of everybody. Is the whole thing. But I mean,
him
Tim
and
Curry, a lot of his movies I enjoyed. He is definitely a stage presence. That's one of the things I think people forget is some of these actors are stage presences. And they're
It's weird though because he's like, in his private life, he is incredibly, like mild mannered. I guess I'm gonna use that to be nice.
yeah.
Like you would never guess. Kind of like what Christopher Walken is when you see an interview of him. He is incredibly subdued compared to all the wild and crazy characters he's played in his life.
Well, so is Johnny Depp. If you ever watch him, I mean, even when you were watching him on the,
I'll tell him per.
but yeah, the whole thing was and I've noticed, until my son, when I did him doing some film stuff, he became so much more outgoing for that. But yeah, I still, there's so many out there that I enjoy. What was the guy's name from? He almost played the same character, same look and everything else. The one that was in the Rocky Horror Picture Show as
Janice,
Riff Raff?
the bald guy.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
Richard Keith O'Brien.
Yeah, I loved him when they had him in the Dark City, as they had him as
Oh, he was in
Mr.
that?
Mr.
I
Hand
never
or
got to
Mr.
see
Book.
Shock Treatment, which was the sequel to Rocky Horror Picture Show. Most people don't realize there was, in
Shock
fact, a
treatment,
sequel.
yeah.
I
was
never saw that, but I
Man.
saw Rocky Horror Picture Show hundreds of times.
If I
Um,
can't make it through Rocky Horror Picture Show, there's no way in hell I'm going to make it through a spin off of that fucking.
It was
That was
very
one of those
different.
that it bombed and then it got picked up by the
There's
the
several
flamboyant
shows.
community.
Oh
It got
yeah,
picked up by the flamboyant community, and then that's where it just took off. As they kept going over and over, and And actually, my mother enjoyed it just for the music. I was like, oh, okay. And I thought it was so funny because it was in the early '90s. They're like, Meatloaf has come back, and I had several people I knew. They're like, we have all of Meatloaf's records. He never went anywhere. He was no longer. They just didn't play him on the radio because he didn't have the big hits. But it's not like he just stopped making music.
I don't remember who it was, and it's a young lady who does it, but she does parodies of different songs, like Weird Al Yankovic, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she did the Time Warp, but instead of being the Rocky Horror Picture version of the Time Warp, she dressed up as David Tennant and did it with the Doctor Who variation of the Time Warp, which was actually kind of cool. She also did I'm pretty sure neither one of I don't know, I can't say this, but she did a parody of Supernatural, as if the Supernatural Dean and Sam were the Ghostbusters.
All right.
It's just stupid fun. I was laughing my ass off.
Speaking of a little side note, did any of you ever see the series Constantine?
I've seen them. Yes, the whole fucking 10 episodes, and they cut it. Fucking
I was like, the actor looked like John.
Looked like John Constantine or Constantine, depends on who you asked.
Oh, I did not. They did Keanu Reeves, and I'd read Star Blazers. I'm sorry,
Blazer.
And I was like,
John
what the hell? And everyone's like, oh, he was so good. I hated that movie. I said it didn't match John Constantine at all. But the actor that did the series, it's only like 10 episodes.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job for that.
It helps that he's British. I
he
don't be
has
the guy.
The blonde hair, he has the look, he has the mannerisms. He played it to a T.
Constantine is also another one of those characters that walking hard.
I'm sorry, but they should have done that when Sting was still viable, because a lot of people say, "Oh, he was supposed to be David Bowie," and I'm like,
no.
Bullshit.
Have you seen Matt Ryan as Constantine?
No, I haven't. But I
go
used to
see
read,
it first
read
and
the
then come
comic
back.
books. I used to read the comics like you,
Yeah.
Omen. I still have them, and there are images I could pull up, and I'm like, that is not David Bowie. That was drawn as Sting. Freaking come at me, bro, because.
But I'm saying, but go look at Matt Ryan, and you'll say, "Oh yeah, he looks like the comic." At least the first 10.
That works. That works. I mean, like I said, Sting's like 80 now, so.
I'm sorry. Every time you mention Sting, all I can think of is as Fade Ralph. I can
see that. He was a friggin' phenomenal musician.
Are you gonna put him up?
Hold on. I'm gonna try to put him up.
The Police were one of those bands that everybody I knew absolutely freaking loved, and it was just for us, it was like our party music.
So I'm thinking, if you start looking at it, it seems like the 70s.
You guys see him?
But see,
hold on.
Yeah,
his chin's too narrow.
No. Look at the one where you did Constantine right there as Constantine. Yeah, go look at the. You just had it up right there in that corner. Yeah. No, I mean he looked the part. He played the part. It was
there. Shadow, look.
You got to blow that picture up because the one on the far left, my side, doesn't look like
I could.
It's the far rights that we're looking at here, but yeah.
Yeah, I figured that in the trench coat. The guy on the far left does not look like him at all. His chin is just too narrow and almost.
You're never going to be 100% perfect there, Shadow.
No, I know. but since facial recognition was one of my, part of my job, it's just like no.
It's like, going back to
He should have been
Jason
a
Momoa. Jason
casting
Momoa
agent.
to me is a better version of Conan than Arnold Schwarzenegger is because of the way he looks. Granted, he didn't have the bowl cut with a mullet. I understand. But you're never going to get 100%, crossover.
Here's the
You
thing
leave
I
the
look
hair
at.
color right.
He had black
I don't.
hair.
You know what? You focus so much on the little details. I go over and said, I look at a lot of this stuff. I said, and what Milius said is that he actually patterned him a lot after Cole. More, he combined the stuff from Cole and Conan. I was like, okay.
Which is funny because they're the same guy, and I think Kevin Sorbo would have done a better job as Conan.
Kevin Sorbo did do a Conan.
Did he really?
No, he did Cole.
Oh, Cole. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. He did Cole. The
And
problem
they're
that
the
I
same
had,
character.
yeah, but you know what? But you get so focused on these little things. I said, what makes a good movie? I really don't care because you're having different mediums. I'm like, fine. But yeah, the thing that I looked at is if you look at the 70s, look at the 70s, it was all sci-fi. And then you look at the 80s, and a lot of it became fantasy. And then in the 90s, we went back
seen it either for just
to sci-fi. Yeah.
Here's the thing, Omen. I get hung up on those little details because when you are looking for people and you're trying to track people down, which was part of my job, you have to be hyper focused and be able to pick those people out of a crowd, and it's vastly important, especially if you think about how many
but from a
people-
translation from a book to a movie, no,
I was
isn't
going
that
from
important.
translation from all of the images that had been drawn from his descriptions, from Frazetta's work, Vallejo's work.
It's
Vallejo's
kind of
work.
irrelevant in my view, which is, it really is in certain areas. I look at it, it's like, okay, how does the movie stand on its own?
They hired him. They hired him. In my opinion, they hired Schwarzenegger for the way he looked from the neck down.
That's fair. I don't see anything wrong with that. And
if that's the case, Jason Momoa is a big guy when he wants to be.
Yeah.
He's getting bigger.
Yeah, well, the age catches up to everybody. From Stargate
Have you
Atlantis.
seen The Rock lately? Unrecognizable.
Well, yeah, but that's what steroids do.
Well, no, he's no longer on steroids, so now he looks like he has cancer.
Well, either way, I hope he has his best life because that guy has more money than I'll ever see.
Depends. Did you put in your did you buy your lottery ticket for tonight?
Oh, 1 point something billion.
You could you'll buy cigars, but you won't buy a $2 ticket.
The likelihood of me winning, I have a better chance of going on a date with anybody.
Giselle Bundchen because she's single.
Who did American Jeans?
Oh, Sydney Sweeney.
I have a better chance of being able to go on a date with her than I do mathematically than winning the damn lottery.
Want to bet?
That is true. I'm not arguing with you on that, but my view is this much is. But you know what? I like. Look, I'm paying $2 for the dream. At that point, it's like, okay, I can build a house and then I can put in a big game room.
Well, tell you what, Omer, now, if you win the lottery, think of your friends.
I will. Guess who's getting a physical therapist? I'm going to kick your ass.
That guy.
I don't need one of those.
You look. I've got a mace bell coming from my son. You got to get 25 pounds.
If we're going to actually go down that route, winning the lottery, I am a part owner at a cigar lounge, right? So if I hit the lottery, I'm not saying all of it's going into the cigar shop, but if it's 1 point something billion, so after 1 point something billion, after they get the taxes out, you're looking at somewhere in the 800 million.
500 million.
No. If you take the cash out, it's about 1/3. You can get about 300 something million.
All right, 300 million. All right. I will dump probably 2 million into my cigar shop.
Oh yeah, you won't even notice that.
What?
You won't even notice that.
Right, but it would help the business greatly, you know.
You know what though is if you're going to do that, you have to look like Sidney Greenstreet in Casablanca.
Real quick, hey, what I said was John Constantine was supposed to look like Sting, but a lot of people say he was supposed to look like David Bowie. And I have the comic books to prove that
Neil
he would have
Gaiman.
never looked like.
Neil Gaiman
He was-
always based his characters off of whatever musicians he was into at that point.
Mhm.
It's like Loki. Neil Gaiman's Loki looks like David Bowie.
That I could picture.
Yeah,
but-
I don't doubt that. Well, especially when he's doing his androgynous phase in the 70s.
Well, it's like if you read Sandman, Desire was based off of David Bowie, especially when he was doing that weird shit in the 70s. There's not, David Bowie being David Bowie.
Now there's a lot of stuff that for the most part, I enjoy a lot of, I don't get hung up on everything being perfect. It's like all the people who complained about, what was it called? The removing Tom Bombadil from Lord of the Rings. And my view on that whole thing was, why the hell did he put Tom Bombadil in the first place? He did nothing to further the story, and it cheapened the ring.
You know what I think? Did you ever read Lord of the Rings?
No.
Okay. In Lord of the Rings, it's a parody, and Tom Bombadil was the most stereotypical pump it up to 11 drug addict hippie of the 60s. Long hair, flower child, him and his freaking flower child girlfriend, always high on various things. And in the Lord of the Rings, that's how they describe Tom Bombadil. And I know that if they put him in the movie, people would still make those kinds of jokes that he was a hippie, a flower child, etc. And it would have probably brought the movie down or made it too humorous or too silly or just not as serious as they wanted.
Here's the real reason: is one of my friend's husbands said they did it because he had to put some kind of action in the middle of the movie for 50 pages of walking. So that was.
Yeah, a couple of years ago for Gatekeepers. Yeah, Gatekeepers.
Yeah, I remember you complaining as you had to listen to it.
Fuck's sake! I would have lit that force on fire.
But no, the whole thing that I was looking at is Tom Bombadil literally, even when I was reading at the time.
My understanding from the few lectures I've actually sat through when it comes to what the author was thinking when he wrote not Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, was
so you're listening to the wrong author.
No, when he was talking about, hold on. Okay. When I was listening about the author, the guy talking about the author for Lord of the Rings, Tom was supposed to be America being all powerful during World War II and didn't do shit until it basically landed into our lap.
It wasn't, and I'm glad we didn't, because
that was his
what? As I hear crap like that,
I need to see that. I can't picture that being accurate.
I don't think that that's true at all, because when you look at it, he completely invalidated the whole point of the ring having the corrupting force. It's because Tom Bombadil, then he had to actually explain it away. I think he may have done it because he's writing it for his kids initially. It's like, well, I feel too close to removing it, because if you read The Hobbit, it's much more. It's not as dark. It's much more lighthearted. It's really aimed at kids. It is.
It was meant to be a children's book, a bedtime story, read out loud. It was literally meant to be read out loud, not read, regular ones.
And then there was that, but I think that he stuck with that, and somewhere in there he just got too attached. But I think also he realized there had to be something in there. I would have there's a lot of things that went on, and we never got a Tolkien, unlike most writers. He kept thinking about doing something after, but he never did. And And I mean, he wrote the book in what was it, 53? I mean, for the Lord of the Rings, it was, I forgot when it was published. It was either in the 40s or early 50s. And you're like, okay. And he didn't do anything for the next 26 years.
Except, live off the laurels.
He didn't live off
He
the
was a
laurels. He already had a
professor. I mean-
full-time job.
Yeah, it was.
That's the thing is people forget. He actually did. If you ever read his translations of like Sir Gawain the Green Knight, it's so far superior to a lot of the others out there. That he liked being a professor. That's what he liked being. He just happened to write a story that, he felt compelled.
Took the world by storm.
Well, yeah. I mean, even my grandmother enjoyed it. That was not her thing.
Yeah.
But he loved doing the lore and everything else. He loved doing translations from, Old Gaelic. I mean, how many languages did the man know?
Several.
I mean, didn't they? I keep hearing things which I don't know if they're true, but the C.S. Lewis and him would play Scrabble, and they were allowed to use any word, any language that they knew. I don't know if that's true, but that sounds kind of cool. But then he created his own language. He created Elvish, which was unheard of at the time.
Well, Elven, it was a lot of Finnish in Elven language. He took a lot from the.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to remember. But yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it'll probably be another fucking decade before I try to listen to or read that series again. My daughter in school, they're reading Narnia.
Okay.
And
Never.
and she has the same bitch about that book that I do. I'm like, oh, you're such my daughter.
So apparently he knew like 17 languages.
Oh yeah.
That's very similar to my old man.
I mean, Spanish, English, French, German, Old English, Russian, Greek, Welsh. Now, I understand the Greek and the Old English, Latin, Dutch, Danish, Finnish, of course, like you mentioned, Norwegian, Middle English, Gothic language, and Old Norse. So, but yeah, he was a professor. That's what everyone remembers him for that work, but he was a professor first that just happened to, write great stories.
If I'm remembering correctly, he'd barely ever talk about his work. If he'd have a student like bring it up, and he'd be professional about it. He'd talk a little bit about it to his students. But if he was at a pub, having a beer or whatever, and somebody brings it up, he'd just basically roll his eyes and just turn his back to whoever was trying to talk to him. It's like
I don't know.
He was very British. He was very aloof. Not aloof.
Yeah.
That's not the right word. It might be the right word.
No, that's a correct word. He was from He was kind of aristocratic, and let's be honest, he was a professor.
Yeah.
He was a professor from the time. So, and whenever I hear him talk, you can tell he comes from the same. It doesn't sound that much different as far as the way that they think before they talk is listen, like Jordan Peterson. They'll wait, they'll figure out what they're going to say, and then they'll say it.
Imagine that.
Apparently, I don't know if this is true, and always giggles when I ever hear this, that Himmler wrote him a letter.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Asking if his elves and all this were a racial purity, ... trying to go along with this, what Himmler was going on. And Tolkien wrote back a very, very gentlemanly, note, basically telling him to go fuck himself.
Yeah, I think that if that was true, it would be more in the nerd lexicon, if you will. We would all know that story.
What year was that? Because there's a big difference between when you're in your like early 30s versus later on.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we'll still correspond.
That letter would be online for us all to read.
I don't know. If you write enough letters to everybody, no one really cares.
I mean, the only letters that really talked about that he had communication with back and forth was him and the author of
C.S. Lewis.
Yeah, and Lewis was bitching. There's not enough Christian archetypes in your books, and he was like, "Well, there's too many in yours," or some variation with that.
Well, no, what he said is that I think what he was complaining about, he says you haven't done enough background for your book. Like his complaint was you didn't flesh out the full history before you wrote your book. I think was one of his things.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't doubt that, but Tolkien really set that up because a lot of them would do a partial world and then they would add it from there. Like Howard, he made the world just slightly different. So because he got tired of everyone correcting him for being wrong about certain histories, and so it was like everyone knew where it was, like Kitai being China.
Yeah, I was just reading that exact letter this afternoon. He really, I hate to say this, but he wasn't he wasn't as great as he gets credit for. He was very lucky and original, but he wasn't on the same level as people like Tolkien and Lewis when it came to
world building. Well, let's be fair on this. He died at what, 30?
Yeah.
I mean, Tolkien wrote his books.
Yeah.
The Hobbit was the closest one he had, and that was in the 30s for him. So he was probably in his mid 30s at that point.
This is okay. I actually kind of went back into looked at it because the whole letter from Himmler, just that I wish it was true. It's not, but it's one of those stories that you wish it was true. This is what happened in 1938 when a German publishing house wrote Tolkien, publisher, asking for proof of his Aryan, asking how Aryan his people were.
Yeah.
And so there is some truth to the story, but no, it was not Himmler himself. Like I said, I just wish it's one of those things I wish was.
You're not wrong, Bert.
Well, wait, didn't Himmler write to everybody when he was in jail until he mysteriously was found dead in like the late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah, Tolkien refused to write with a Nazi-leaning publisher. Yeah.
Yeah, like Bert said, all of Tolkien's work had that underlying, message: war is hell, and we shouldn't do it. But here we are.
Well, he brought back romanticism and heroism, especially after World War One. After being in the trenches, you gotta give him credit because here's a guy who actually lived it. And so, what I have heard is Saruman was representation of, the whole part of the industrial age and the horrors for that. But sometimes I think that people are putting too much into symbolism and reading into things. You're just like, no, I did it because it's a cool idea, or I did it because I like this. Don't ever knock it for that. It's like, well, what were your inspirations? Even for my inspirations, like how many movies have I seen? And I'm sure I forgot some. The old Appendix Ends. Like, what do you want? And it's like, just like Flash Gordon. Look, Flash Gordon was one of those for the cartoon. As much as I do enjoy the music from Queen, that first season of the cartoon, right before I went over to Germany, I was like, this is fantastic. And I rewatched it, and I could tell it was aimed at a general audience. It was not aimed at just children. And but and sometimes I think that's what's missing in certain areas. And I'm really looking forward to, with as much as people talk about AI and the disruption that's going to come into it, man, have you seen some of the stuff they're coming out for just the that they're doing for parodies, like the
yeah. I sent one. It was like Lord of the Rings in Nam or something.
Oh, you've got that one. Well, the Charlie one did one, but I was talking about because we're going to the Star Wars game was the Sith Daddy, video, and then you can watch the stormtroopers as they go through and like, hey everybody, we're going over here, and he's like doing the whole Ewok stuff, and you can tell it's AI, but it's gotten really good. The barefoot vlogs, yeah, they're getting pretty good, and you're going, now we can start watching people actually create stuff
Whatever the hell they want without permission, so to speak.
well, no, you still have
Without
to get permission,
approval.
otherwise they can come for you and they can take
Yeah,
all
I
your
meant the word approval.
Oh, yeah, but what I meant is that's not what I'm referring to. Is now you can do. Guess what? We have spaceships. Let's do this, and we'll do a big old battle, and it won't take 10 years. What was that one guy that he did? I forgot what was 10 or 15 minute thing. It took him 10 years to do a Star Wars to animate the whole thing. Have you seen that?
Jeez.
I mean, he animated it frame by frame in classic style. I think you might be able to find it on YouTube. But yeah, it was amazing. And then they did the same thing when there was another Star Wars one that they did. Where I'm like, you can tell when people love stuff and they want to get it as correct as possible. Was it called TIE Fighter was one of them? Maybe that was it. But yeah, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I did it kind of, maybe a little bit more of the anime style, but I just thought that was fantastic.
Trying to find a letter. It's like letter 29 from Token when he responded to the German editor, and it's just really good. And it's annoying me that I can't find it because I'd share it, but everybody out there, how to work Google, go for it.
Well, and I'm not, and that's
going to AI. AI has definitely done over the last year and a half leaps and bounds.
It has.
There was shorts on Facebook and on YouTube of Bigfoot just fucking around in the forest.
Well, that's what I mean. It's the Bigfoot one, but now they have one with the stormtroopers.
Nice.
And they're, it's like, hey guys, they sent me as an ambassador these Ewoks, and he's going over there. I'm not sure what they're doing. I thought they're cute. I enjoyed watching the one where they did the rap with Darth Vader. As Sith Daddy. And you look at it, it's like, okay, obviously this is AI, but just having all the background characters and everything else, including the Disney princesses, it's getting up to the point now, and I don't know about you all, I don't care if it's photorealistic. I don't care if they're going to say, oh, it's going to be live action. Why do you make it live action? I'd rather you just do a cartoon and spend, 25% for the film and let me just watch it.
Going back to this film acting, going back to Firefly, the only way, I've been in conversations where people's like, I'd love for them to bring it back. There's just no way for them to bring back Firefly. I'm like, that's not true. You can bring it back. It just won't be in the medium. It just won't be in the medium that originally was. If they turn Firefly into a cartoon, an anime, whatever, right? You get all the original actors who survived Serenity come back and be voice actors. Therefore, they didn't age.
No, that's the thing. And then you can put them in situations. You don't have to pay for as many for the sets. I mean, that's part of the reason I liked King of the Hill. It wasn't a static environment. Like if you ever watch normal sitcoms, they're always in the same area just because of cost. It's only if you get the bigger budgets do they give it multiple. And then even then they may only have two or three locations. But in this one, it's like, well, we can switch all over the place. Like,
have you seen the King of the Hill? The last, It's
I've been watching
good.
parts.
It reminds me of the old one. Peg
Well, I
still
hope so.
Peg still drives me up the fucking wall. Couldn't stand her as a kid watching it. Can't stand
Which
her.
one?
The wife, the mom, Peg.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
God!
Yeah, but
It's like
Builder is fair.
she's like everything that was wrong with Napoleon Dynamite rolled into one character.
And the problem is I know people like that.
Yes, but see, we in Texas, we know people like Boomhauer too. You know, it's
Wow.
and that's the whole point of it. And Dale, you know, but that's what made it funny. I heard people say, you know, I don't like King of the Hill. They're like, well, you never lived in Texas. Once you live in Texas, you'll be like, oh. And actually, Mike Judge said that. He said a lot of that was, you know, he just have his neighbors. They'd hang out in the alley in the back, and you know, if they
It's
wanted
funny
to do something.
because when I lived in Virginia, it was the same thing. It's how do I put this? It's really rural America or right where
it's rural suburban.
meet the rural.
Yeah.
You know where that border is. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's anywhere America.
Oh, well, see, I left whenever they would talk about, you know, there are certain times because, you know, when they said, and you know, we're playing Belton next week, and I'm like, I know Belton. You know, I live just a few miles away from that city. You know, they start naming the cities in Texas. You're like, oh, okay. But you're right. It's not that different than it was when I was in Alabama or these other areas.
Arizona.
Yeah, it's I can see it pretty
Mexico.
much. Yeah. You know, it's like,
yeah, I can't even say just the South.
But you know, like I tell my son for certain things about comedy, I said it needs to be familiar enough that people can relate to it, and it needs to also be ridiculous or offensive that you laugh because you're shocked. You know,
I can't believe they just did that.
Which is why I left the Boondocks.
Oh my God!
Especially the
That
part
was
where
one of the most brutal cartoons I've ever seen. Some of the shit was just
so my friends that were black were laughing at it. I'm laughing at it for the whole thing. You know, it's like, well, you know what? I think I'm gonna. He says, you know, I think I'm going. You can't tell the white man the truth. He said, you know what? I think I'm going to lie to I'm going to find a white man right now so I can lie to his face. You know, just. And then actually, my favorite was, you know, guest host coming to dinner.
Oh God.
At the very beginning, you know, they had the kid crying in the grocery store, and he pulls out the belt. You know,
about beating his ass? Yeah.
He did beat his ass, and you know, the girl comes by and says, "Oh, I love a man that helps out a woman in need." And he says, "I just hate to see a child go unbeaten." You know, that was...
Oh, after
Grandpa, she's a hoe. He's like, well, how do you know? Does she eat like there's something there? Can she run really fast in high heels? And every time some guy in a purple suit walks by, does she duck under the table? You know? Oh yeah.
Well, I got this friend down in Tennessee, Jason.
Uh-huh.
6 foot easy, 6 feet tall, big black gentleman. Great guy, one of my favorite people. And we're at this restaurant called Manel's. And it's a community table type sitting down. You know, you pay to go in, you're at a long table, they bring down food for the whole table, and you're sitting with other people. And it's cool. It's a really cool setup. Anyways, I'm there with him, and there's these people, black family down at the other end of the table. And he does a really good Uncle Ruckus impression.
Yes.
He's like, it's awful nice of you, Mr. White Man, to sit down at this that table. I'm like, shut up, you're gonna get me shot. You know, you're a thin image of Reagan himself. I'm like, man.
I still remember I still love the one where he does the stink meter crew that comes after the kids, and they do the kung fu. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that from the, you know.
Them and taking a shot at R. Kelly.
Oh, that's.
If he peed on me, if he tried to pee on me, I just step out of the way.
Well, I also love the whole thing with where they were trying to get into the movie theater, and Uncle Ruckus is out there as the usher, and he's like, they get into the fights, with Huey. Yeah. I'm like, look, I miss the old blaxploitation films from the 1970s. If we're going to talk about some of that, like
Oh,
Shaft.
on HBO Max, they have Black Dynamite
Oh yes.
as an anime.
Yep. Nope.
And it was like I've gotten a couple ideas for campaign aspects out of that show. I'm like, oh man.
Oh my God! Does this
So-
mean that we have to play? We have to take the worst stereotypes of whatever group we're going to be out there. I'm going to have to be the Irish.
Hey now. Let's not be a Greek bastard.
I'm sorry. I can't do any worse than Family Guy did with the Irish.
Uh,
Oh, do you remember where they went over? Yes.
Oh, every so often their variation of pure imagination with pure intoxication. I'll start singing that.
Oh no, I don't remember that. I just remember them going for the I still remember it's like Seamus is found to turn us into complete energy life forms. But while we're at it, Sean created this thing called beer. He said, okay, well, we're going to try figuring out beer first. Like they're trying, and it was like the Jetsons, for Ireland. And as soon as they get beer, you can see like go completely downhill.
There was this YouTuber.
When the airplane lands, it has to plow through the empty beer bottle.
Yeah.
There was this
I can still hear that sound when I think about it of all those beer bottles, being pushed out of the way by a jumbo jet. It was
with all the clinking bottles.
Speaking of the Jetsons, there was this YouTuber. I don't think he does anything. He does like movie theories. Movie theories was his thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was talking about the Jetsons and the Flintstones crossover back in the day.
Oh yes. Yeah.
And the Jetsons didn't actually go back in time. They just went down to Earth.
Oh, okay.
Because why would the Flintstones?
They all live up above, and the you never saw the Earth in the Jetsons. It was all way up in the sky on big columns and buildings and stuff. And down at the bottom is where the Flintstones live, kind of like the Morlocks.
They blew themselves back into the Stone Age.
Oh, speaking of which, we're going to talk about that. Do you remember the one with the puppets, dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which apparently the season ended with the series ended with the asteroid hurling towards the Earth.
Because they knocked down a certain tree, because they knocked down enough trees, the Earth was going into an ice age, which killed off the dinosaurs. Yeah, I was actually watching a thing about TV shows that had much darker endings than we realized.
Oh yeah.
Then dinosaurs was on that Alf. The last episode of Alf is when the FBI busted into the house and arrested Alf to take him to a lab, and that was the last episode ever.
Hey,
I never actually watched Alf.
I did.
That and a cartoon series as a kid.
I watched it, and actually I kind of enjoyed it. Do you remember Happily Ever After, which was the knockoff from Married with Children, where they had the puppet with
it was Bobcat
Bobcat Goldthwait is doing the puppet or whatever.
Yeah. When he does that speech about
I remember
America,
it, I didn't watch it.
Okay.
It was good. I mean,
I enjoyed it. And what was her name? And she ruined herself with plastic surgery. The redhead. She was gorgeous, and she got plastic surgery, and then she hit the uncanny valley as soon as she did that.
This was Happy. What was the name of the show?
I think it was it Happily Ever After or something like that.
Yeah, hold on. No, not that movie, not the Drew Barrymore movie. There's got to be an easier way to find this movie. Hold on.
Unhappily Ever After. Yeah, it's Unhappily Ever After.
That Bobcat, how the fuck you say his last name? He was everywhere in the
Goldthwait.
90s.
Yeah, he did that from Police Academy, and then that's where I saw him. And then I never liked him. And then of course in Scrooge.
Scrooge. He was great.
Actually, he talked like that in his stand-up before he ever got any movie roles. I don't know what that was, whether it was a tick, Tourette's, or something like that. Maybe he was trying.
That was a character. That was a character-ish thing he did. Because that's not how he talks in real life. That's not how he.
Right.
Yeah, I certainly hope not, because that would be freaking annoying, and he would never, ever, ever, ever see the inside of a woman's bedroom ever.
Well, that's okay because you can use Bobcat Goldthwait with what was the other guy's name?
Nikki Cox.
The Aflac Duck. Yeah, Nikki Cox was gorgeous, and then she got plastic surgery, and she just became. I don't know what it is with women where they want to inflate their lips to the point that you just look freakish. Anyway, yeah, you could tell she had plastic surgery done, and she just didn't look that good after. And I was like, you looked fine before. You looked
that's what light switches.
Before.
That is what definitely a light switch is.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, but we're talking about the worst, voices ever. Gilbert Gottfried. The one that
weird voice, but he was a great guy.
Yeah, well,
I think with Gilbert Gottfried, I honestly think that's just the way he fucking talked. I don't think that was him.
No, apparently he spoke differently in normal, but that was his character. So whenever any public persona, but you get that voice with Bobcat Goldthwait and the lady that was in The Nanny, Fran Drescher.
Fran Drescher.
Yeah,
that's funny because I always thought she was hot.
Her voice.
Even her voice. I don't know. I've always had this thing for that act. That
you like Jersey Trash.
Yes.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
What? That's you like Jersey Trash. That's what that was.
Maybe. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember Soap?
Yes, yeah. I remember Soap.
Okay, do you remember Bobby's Jewish mafia girlfriend became his wife?
Look, you're talking about something like
Elaine.
You're talking about something almost 50 years ago. Well, 40-something years ago.
I recently watched the whole thing, and that woman's voice was freaking just.
All right, I'm sorry, Bo. That's Staten Island Jewish.
No. Okay. Well, she talks like that in real life too.
That's what I was thinking, Bo. Those two voices, I don't know why, but then again, I watched Soap when it first came out, and that was in like the early 70s. My parents didn't watch it. I stayed up late to watch that, and my parents were like, why are you watching this? They never watched it, and they would have loved it, but it was like way grown up for me. I was like, maybe 7-8 years old when it came out, and I'm like, this is the funniest fucking thing ever. And yeah.
Well, I remember watching it too, and I thought it was funny, when I was really little for that. And yeah, it was. But and they had Billy Crystal? Was it Billy Crystal that played the gay?
Yes.
It was. But what I did enjoy about it was that they did it was truly a soap opera because they did like every week. It was all continuous. And
well, it was the ultimate parody of all the soaps at the time.
Sure.
It's a shame it didn't get its I think it was fourth season because it left on a cliffhanger where Jessica was about to get shot by the Cuban firing squad.
Oh, okay. Hey, you know what though is, I enjoy a lot of.
Yes, Benson was great. He kind of stole the show, but so did the guy who played Burt Campbell. Oh my God, that guy was so good. He was great as General Custard, excuse me, in Little Big Man. He was so good as Custard.
There's
I don't remember his name though. I just
Well,
watched the whole freaking thing.
speaking of which, when we said you have to make compelling television, otherwise we'll just go back and watch the old stuff.
I'm telling you, I literally can't name 5 shows that I've watched, new shows that I've watched in the last 5 years that didn't piss me off.
Let's see. Well, The Expanse, like I said, I enjoyed, but the last couple of seasons I was like, eh. But I enjoyed The Expanse. I'm trying to think. Carnival was, and the problem is that I'm looking back at it maybe
The
20.
fact that you remember that, that's awesome.
Maybe 2018, 2019. So that may not be the last 5 years, but Carnival did its thing, which was interesting, but it felt rushed. That's the problem I have with this. They do these 10 episodes, and instead of really developing the characters and letting the story build up over time and creating those interpersonal dynamics, it feels like they just want to get it over with.
Well,
Really?
last 5 years. Okay.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Last
what was the
5
show
years.
that was
Okay.
like that?
I'm trying to think of shows that me and Shadow have talked about that have come out with. I'll say 10 years. Let's just say 10 years. Shadow, you like Stranger Things.
Yes.
I haven't seen that one.
I think you like The Flash. CW's Flash.
Yeah, I did.
Was that the last 10 years?
Last 10 years, yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought that it predated 20.
It's been on longer than 10 years, but I'm just saying shows were on last 10
Flash
years.
is still going?
No, Flash ended like 2 years ago.
Well, how many seasons?
A lot. I think it hit like 8 or 9.
Okay, because I dropped out in the middle of season 4. I think I saw the first season. I saw Zoom. I saw whatever his name was, Godspeed, who's just the Flash from the future, the evil Flash from the future.
Flash had 9 seasons.
Really?
So I'm going to bring it this way. No. It's not the ones that ended. How many have started? Let's do the ones that started from 2015 forward, not the ones that predate that.
All right. Well, like I said, I know he likes Stranger Things. I know he likes Flash.
Looking forward to the finale.
I mean, because otherwise you can include a lot of stuff in there that were good and just killed themselves. Like I enjoyed Game of Thrones, but it killed itself the last 2 seasons.
Oh God, yeah, it just did too much. Did you watch Legends of Tomorrow?
Nope.
Okay. I liked Arrow. I liked Arrow for the first 4 seasons.
I wanted to, but it was so completely different than Green Arrow.
That I like.
And I'm not talking like Gold and Silver Age. I'm talking like Bronze Age, Longbow Hunters on.
Longbow Hunter was fairly dark, and that's why I liked Green Arrow. It was dark.
Right, but it was too much about his, rich family, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, this is lame.
I'm trying to think of. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last 10 years. So Stranger Things would count there.
Stranger Things, Flash was sort of
no, but no, it has to start from 2015 forward. Otherwise, we can include a lot of other stuff that
Yeah, I would add. I would be able to add the Blacklist to it.
The Venture Brothers, which went on for 20. It's been going on for almost 20 years.
I tried to enjoy Love, Death, and Robots, but season 3 pissed me off. It was great. The first 2 seasons were really good. No bullshit, no woke agenda shit. And then season 3 hit me. Second episode just started kicking me in the nuts, and I'm like,
all right. Did you see Netflix's Daredevil?
No.
I have seen that one. No, I did. I'm sorry, I saw the Punisher, not the Daredevil version.
Well, yeah,
I did see the Netflix Punisher, and I hated it.
Oh, I
didn't mind the first season or 2, but
it was literally like watching Leon, the professional, be the Punisher they had this technically like retarded guy is the Punisher. He just came across as so not Frank Castle. Frank Castle was a freaking genius. This guy was like Rocky Balboa after he just got through fighting freaking Drago. You know what I mean? Just
Did you
dumb as fuck.
Did you watch The Boys?
First season I enjoyed. The second season was okay. By the time I haven't finished I haven't even looked at the last season, and I went, and the same thing that I watched.
I tried to like Invincible, but Amazon wouldn't let me watch past season 2.
Well, yeah, because you didn't have a subscription.
No, I do. Amazon
No.
Prime.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No, it just I
Yes,
when
I
I was
only
trying
had
to
2
watch
seasons.
it kept going. Please come back. We're having difficulties.
Oh,
That's
so it
weird.
wasn't the show; it was just the platform you had issues with.
It was just the connection or that bad, bad time or whatever. And there were parts of it I did not like. But the first season when I watched those guys just get tore apart by the kid's dad, I was just like, "Fuck, this is wild." It was fucking brutal. And then when I saw his dad make out tongue kiss that alien bug lady, I'm just like, this is
let's see.
Did you see? Oh shit.
Okay, I'm looking at season 2. Do they even have a season 3 yet?
They're on season. I thought
for
they
what?
were on-
Invincible?
Yeah, because I'm looking and I don't see.
Okay, maybe it was season 2. They wouldn't let me watch all of, but I watched the first season, a bunch of season 2, I think, but I couldn't get any further.
Yeah, there's
Well, I'm
only
looking-
I think there's only 2 seasons.
No, I'm looking right now. It says season 3, but I only see says episode 1. Watch now. Did they make any more episodes after that?
They're making them right now. I mean, that's
Okay.
Yeah, that.
you
Well,
can
let
watch
me check.
those
No,
days.
season 3's on right now. I could watch it right now. It says include with Prime. So
Better
you've
Call
got-
Saul.
Maybe I'll give it another shot. I tried to watch The Rookie. It was decent for a couple of seasons, but I could see the woke shit creeping in more and more. Season 2 was during the BLM riots, and I'm like, dude, if I didn't like Nathan Fillion having played 2 of my favorite TV characters, I would have just I would have thrown the 6-season box set I just bought into the trash.
I was trying to think of the. I will say this much. Of course, I know the little shorts. Secret Level, I've enjoyed.
Those are fun.
I
I
did like what was it? Jupiter Rising or Jupiter Ascendant or something? Another
the movie?
superhero TV show.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, but Secret Level is one that I enjoyed watching as far as a series.
But then it got canceled, right? It made like 1 season. It was really
One
good,
season.
and then
What, Secret Level?
No.
Jupiter
I don't
Rising.
know.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a series. I don't know. I could be wrong.
It was, and they made.
No,
one
I mean, I
season.
thought it was a movie, and I didn't realize they were making a series.
Oh no,
out of
you're thinking the one with Mila Kunis. No, it wasn't
it.
that.
Okay.
No, I won't watch anything with her in it. She's a whore, and I'm not giving her any of my time.
Do you watch Forge of Fire?
I did.
I like that show. I'm just, I'm looking. At
The problem is it was the same thing over and over and over.
Oh
again.
yeah, I enjoy it for what they're making more than I was enjoying it for anything else.
I mean, I enjoyed the beginning, but then I started realizing, all the stuff. I said, it's just not the same. It's.
Anything else I've watched lately that wasn't awful?
Did you ever watch Bloodline with Tom Selleck?
No.
Not Bloodline, that True Blue.
I did. I watched a couple of.
no, is it?
It's a couple of
When
seasons.
was what was what the House of Cards? What year was that?
House of Cards came out in 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
Okay, so it don't count.
No, I was trying to think of.
Ash versus Evil Dead.
I watched bits and pieces of that, but the problem is that I think that was on Stars or something, so you couldn't watch whatever my friend pirated is what I watched. Oh, you know what I really enjoyed? You want to talk about a series, which
What?
was the anime, which was this 13 episode, I think, was Blade Runner Black Lotus.
Didn't watch that either.
Or you should if you get a chance.
I don't know.
As a
I
Blade
honestly-
Runner fan, you should be watching that one.
I know, but it's weird because, like, I don't even turn my TV on once a month.
Yeah, I don't either. Everything's online.
No, I mean, I only watch YouTube.
That's yeah. I watch a lot of YouTube, but I also watch if something's interesting, I'll go watch one of the other stuff. You know what is and now I'm not sure about the date. What was Hannah?
Hannah, the
first-
movie?
No, the series. The first two series I enjoyed.
Never heard of it.
I don't know.
No, it was based off the movie instead, but they made it into a full series. I'm not sure when it came out. No, yeah, let's see. The third season came out in 2021, but I thought it did pretty well. That said, is sometimes I kind of lose excitement after the second season. And what amazes, I don't know what it is. I don't think they have enough writers anymore, or the writers just don't know how to write. But
I know they got
used-
plenty of writers, but they're it takes 30 of them to write. Like for example, this Stephen Colbert's show. He had like 24 freaking writers.
Okay, yeah, but that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to it used to be that they, seasons were 22 episodes. Like look at Babylon
Oh
5.
yeah.
Yeah,
But they had like a handful of writers, not a room full of writers.
no, they had rooms full of writers.
Really?
They would have like 8 to 10 writers in every room.
Oh no, I'm talking like multiple dozens.
Oh. I mean, I was
As
just looking
opposed
at
to
a lot
like
of them.
you 10. After 10, you're not doing yourself. I mean, I could see like a show like Saturday Night Live having like an army of writers, but a
Most
drama
talk
or a
shows.
comedy.
I was going to say, most talk shows and shows like Saturday Night Live, where you need an army of fucking writers just to keep up on everything, and not
Well,
everything
the other point is that they're on 5. They're doing what 200 episodes a year, if not more.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whereas, so I understand them having a
Every one of
long
them
too.
has.
But that said, but what I was referring to is if you look at like the old series, I don't, even going back for the 90s, you might have one writer, but you had one writer, but he usually had lots of other writers that would flesh out whatever the main storyline was. And then and they knew how to write characters too. So the characters were interesting. And nowadays it's like, why are all of your, now they can't even do a 10 episode season without putting in filler episodes. I mean, I understand when it was a 22 episode and you get like, oh, okay, there were like 1 or 2 filler episodes, but why in the world would you put in like half of your episodes being fillers if it's only 10 episodes? How hard is it to write that? I mean, if you have 10 writers, guess what? Each of you only has to write 1 episode a year.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to write. I've been
Yes.
hem-hawing. I haven't actually been hem-hawing. I've actually been doing a lot of writing. I haven't been on YouTube as much as Shadow would like me to be of late.
Once a week, bro. What's this?
I know, and we need to get the movie review thing back on. I'm sorry, I had a bunch of you guys watch Blazing Saddles and not able to do anything with that.
I thought we
Actually,
did
no-
do something with Blazing Saddles. We did Blazing Saddles, but we didn't do the. We didn't ever finish some of the other stuff for the sci-fi. Remember, we did this year of the sci-fi, and we only went through like.
Yeah, my life is kind of blown up in 4 different fucking directions.
That's okay. Give yourself another, 4 years.
Well, Shao keeps threatening to, if I don't get back on top of him, he's going to do it, steal my idea. I'm like, steal my idea. Then I'll just review the movies you review while I'm reviewing
Exactly.
your video.
Oh, you mean like Bruce is anyway? I mean, it's like.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, this has been fun, guys, but the medicine's kind of kicking out, so I need to take some more medicine, and I'll knock my ass out.
Okay, well, good. I need to go finish up my Horse Cthulhu. As much as it's the spiritual successor to Conan, as far as the style for it, and they've
I'm
refined
actually
it.
reading. I'm going to go finish The Coming of Conan, the original first hardcover Conan
The
book.
Coming of Conan.
With an O, not a U.
Okay. I
That's
okay.
that. You're thinking of the 1970s, film.
Yeah, not 1953, which is funny because most like the first, I'm going to go like 85 pages of a 250-page hardcover book is all about Kull.
Yeah. I got the audiobook, which was like 32 hours.
Oh God! You know how long it took me to realize the main bad guy in Conan the Conqueror was actually a villain from the Cole era. The snake guy.
Yeah. Well, you know what? But those are always, it doesn't matter. It's so great to have that stuff. And especially if you tie it for 10,000 years later. And you're like, I mean, for those of us who grew up on D&D, the Yuan-Ti, and you look at it and, Snake Men, Wolfmen, which is, because the one I had also had some Solomon Kane. I got the Breck Morn, which was, apparently that was never printed during his lifetime. And so it's still under copyright.
God, I gotta see if I can watch that movie again.
What movie?
Solomon Kane.
Yeah, I have yet to see it. I have yet to see it. I
liked
James
it.
Purefoy, a big fan of him. So
I was kind of mad that some of these films that came out, I never saw in the theaters. They put them in the theaters just long enough to disappear, and they went almost directly to DVD.
Whatever you do, don't waste your money on the new Sonya movie.
One of my favorite actresses. I know, and I had that conversation with Bear and all that a couple nights ago. But one of my favorite actresses is in that movie, so I'll give it a. I will.
Which one?
Oh God, I cannot pronounce her name half the time.
Well, Connell, don't you have a subscription where it's just like you can go see as many movies as you want per month?
Those fucking bastards. Sorry.
Apparently, no, he no longer has that deal.
No, I do. They just closed the local. I had a theater that was maybe a 5-minute drive away from my house. Right, it was amazing. AMC, it was awesome. Got there. They closed that one down because theaters are dying. I don't want to admit to it, but it is true. Theaters are dying. They're like the mall. They're a thing of a pet. They're just dying out. The next closest one is like 20 minutes away, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
So, the Alamo Draft House, which is what I've been that. I actually went to go see Comic Strippers many years ago, which was improv comedy with strippers. I was like, how could you go wrong?
I don't have a problem with this.
So terrible.
Well, because women are never funny.
That's
wasn't the women. No, it was terrible. No, women are pretty funny. All you have to do is watch them and how they act.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 26 minutes away. So it's not.
That's still half an hour, but it's not as easy to just go around the corner.
Right.
But no, Alamo Draft House, and it was, I think this one they closed down, which was downtown Austin. You know what I like about it is they'll show a lot of old films. So like, hey guys, come in and you can go watch, Planet of the Apes. Hey guys, you can get, and I don't mean the new Planet of the Apes. I mean the old 1970s,
I just bought the box set, but yeah.
Yeah, but there's a difference between a box set and being in a theater.
I know. If it was in the theaters, they would need armed guards to get me the fuck out of the building.
Well, they do have Jaws.
Jaws is playing not even 5 minutes from my house. Couldn't get the boy to go. He would rather play Helldiver with his best friend. So.
Oh wait a minute! Oh, I'm looking at this for
Nightmare
on Elm Street 3. A Nightmare on Elm Street. That's funny. But what gets me about it is if you have some of these old films, Just put them
I
back
know,
in
I know
there.
her. I'm so jealous. Nobody gets it. I was 8 years old watching that movie from the back seat of the drive of my parents' car at the drive-in, and I thought I'd take the family to go see the scariest freaking movie of all time, or at least it was once upon a time. Didn't want to do it. Had the whole weekend open. Any moment, it's like let's go, drop everything.
Oh, wait a minute. The Draft House apparently has. Again,
Jaws?
I'm not sure which one. It has it as Dungeons and Draft House, so you can play one-shot D&D adventures while drinking.
I'm not opposed to that idea either.
I
At the
don't drink,
lounge.
so
All right. All right. At the
But-
lounge, we're talking about doing a movie night, and I know the first couple movies we're talking about watching. The theme of the movies at the cigar lounge is somebody will at least needs to be smoking a cigar in these movies. So I imagine a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
I know, right?
Yep.
Um,
No. Sydney Greenstreet. There's a lot of stuff with Ed. What is it? Was it Monroe or whatever his name was? I forgot.
I know Casablanca is in the top 4 movies that we're going to watch, and I just recently watched that not that long ago. And the main character just annoys me.
Yeah, it's not even in my top 40 favorite movies.
Casablanca?
Yeah.
Well, you've been hanging out at the wrong gin joints.
No, I'd rather watch Maltese Falcon or a couple other bogey movies.
I mean, my favorite is from his is still the Big Sleep.
That's a good one.
I still need to see. I never saw the African Queen.
I've seen that one.
That was okay. I didn't, but
And it was
some of
color,
them-
right?
What's that?
And it was in color, right?
Yeah.
No, I remember it being black and white. I mean, they color. Of course, when Ted Turner got into it, he colorized it all. But I remember seeing the African
And real
Queen.
quick, Jackie was playing Helldiver 2 with his best friend who used to live here with us, but moved out of state. So, and they only get to hang out like honestly less than 5 times a year. So I kind of get it because it was a day off, from school, but at the same time, freaking Jaws. I mean, after the next week or two, when's it going to be in the theaters again? Never. What, 25 years from now? Yeah, I'll be in the grave 15 years.
You will not. We'll dig you up. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank the people who were in the chat for hanging out with us. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks, Bert.
Shadow Omen, it's always a pleasure.
Hey.
A little bit of
Who else
housekeeping.
was there tonight?
Bo, Nerds Nerd, RP.
Was Nerds here?
Yeah,
What?
she just popped in to say hi. And then
I totally
that's
missed that. Sorry, Nerds. I see RPG Dad. He should have joined us. Nerds should have joined us. Bo should have joined us.
Oh.
Owen should have joined us.
A little
Ungar
bit
should
of-
have joined us.
Yeah, I should have. I just didn't.
a little bit of
That was the joke.
housekeeping. I want to go back to a statement I said one night when it was me, you, Shadow, and Nerdy Ogre, and I stand by my statement. Indiana Jones and the Crusader of the Lost, not that Crusader, which one? Raiders of the Ark does not need Indiana Jones in that movie for it to have the same ending. That is a anthill I'm going to step on. I mean, die on.
It's absolutely true.
That's not the point.
I know, but it kind of is. Anyway,
It's like every module you play, it's going to end the same way, whether the players involve themselves in the dungeon or not.
all right. Hopefully, sometime this week. Hopefully, not this week. Hopefully, sometime this month, I am having Mike Wellers of AP Cigar Lounge in downstate Illinois, Southern Illinois. Come on, and I'm going to interview him. He is a guy who travels around the local area selling cigars, his own shop, his own brand. And hopefully, if I am lucky, so lucky, he will be my first and probably only cigar sponsor. Connell is getting the DM is getting a cigar sponsors. It can happen to you.
Don't do that, but
Oh, by the way, I hear that the other thing on the 28th of this month, if Shadow has continued to be smoke free until that date, I need to get hold of Jackie to, never mind, to rig the election on this one since he is Republican enough. I'll be nice.
You live
I
in
will be-
Illinois. Republicans can't rig elections.
No, but Jack, for me, yeah. Anyway, well, Jack hasn't tried yet. I have faith in Jack to rig election. And anyways, I will be shaving my goatee, beard, I don't know, in some kind of Three Musketeers type theme. I need to talk to Bruce about that. Granted, most of the pictures I've seen of actors who've played Portos haven't really shaved, so I might still be in the clear. I've yet to find out. I've yet to figure
January
out.
20th.
January 20th to September. Okay, so yeah, I need to talk to Bruce, and I told Shadow we'll do this, and we will do this. So I will not wear a fluffy shirt. I will not talk in a irritating French accent. I throw hamsters at you. Pah! Any of that nonsense. But I will trim the beard a little bit. See what I can do.
You know what? You need to have the classic.
You can shut your whore mouth.
What? No. I'm sorry. I was referring to like the Civil War style beards. That's what you need.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the
Jackie
No.
did it Sunday at dinner. He had the full on.
You
Twisted-
mean, wait a minute.
mustache.
Here's the important chat. Here's the important part, Shadow. Did he have a young woman tied up on the railroad tracks as he was doing that?
He might have.
Okay, just making sure.
You never know with that boy. He's been coming home later and later every afternoon from school, so and the tracks are not that far.
With all that being said, and hopefully the cops from the FBI are watching my show after that statement there, Shadow. I thank everybody for hanging out with us. I really need to get back on here. Mondays is really tonight was just a weird night for me. My game got canceled because Monday is normally my gaming night. But you will definitely see me. You'll definitely see that guy hanging out here and coming soon to a theater near you. And hopefully we can grab a few other people that are nice enough to stop by or dumb enough. And we'll do another show. Now, it's always a pleasure. When they have been able to create a train station that runs from Peoria, Illinois down to, I don't know, Houston, somewhere in Texas.
I'm going to say this much: is we literally have a train station.
I know. I just
in my city. In my
Peoria,
city, it's a major
That's
stop.
the plan.
Yeah.
You come down, let me know.
I will. Peoria, Illinois has been talking about putting in another passenger train through Peoria, which would be nice for multiple different reasons. Because fuck Greyhound.
I've done a lot of traveling on Greyhound.
I like trains so much nicer, especially in
Oh
Europe.
yeah, absolutely. But when
I'll
you
have
need
a
to
pure
travel,
Sultan moment.
low-key,
With all that being said, the cigar's about gone. I'm gone.
peace, guys.
All right,
Be
see you
good to
later.
each other.
Bye.
And don't take shit from anybody, especially that guy.